I secretly moved out of the house because I could no longer handle my family.
You can't handle the truth or your family.
You can't handle the truth.
So I, 26 female, my sister, 23 female, have been bullied by our parents for most of our lives.
Why you bullying me?
Once my brother, 20 male, was born, our parents have always favored him. Okay? By the way, this comes from Sassy Redhead 234.
Ooh.
And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So we knew they always wanted a boy. Many people in our lives, including family, friends, and even family members, would confront them on their treatment of us. So it was so bad that they got confronted. My father would stay silent while my mother would scream and defend herself, telling them that my sister and I were horrible. We knew that anytime they talked about us, it was never good. Yikes. When it came to my brother, it was always about him, talking about his achievements as if he was the best thing since sliced bread. Now, I never held that against my brother. No one can control the actions of others. We all actually bonded from the ridiculousness of our parents, which is good.
Okay, that's good.
As he got older, he would see their treatment towards us, where he would call if they ever had an episode when going after my sister and I would have to step in. Growing up, my mother prioritized chores in the house instead of my education. I would have to vacuum the house top to bottom. That's crazy. Prioritizing chores over education is kind of nuts.
Bro's got a degree in making it shine.
I would have to make dinner, do dishes, walk the dog, collect the trash, clean the kitchen, etc. before I could even get started on my homework.
Ooh.
My grades suffered. The only thing I could go to that would give me joy was choir. They would attend some of my events, but if my brother had even just a football practice, they would prioritize that over my one choir event. My aunt and grandparents would be there instead because they knew they weren't being fair to me. Even when I was going to trade school and working 2 jobs, they were trying to charge me rent because I wasn't doing chores anymore since I was gone from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning from working so hard. The last straw was last year in August. My parents let me stay in their house after COVID since my job was affected, so I stayed with them to save money to get back on my feet. I knew there were no strings attached if I did, but I accepted it. Now, my parents live in an old home built back in the 1800s, so there are a lot of electrical issues with the home. We had to have an electrician come to change the wattage of the electrical output so it would be safer for the home, I guess, so it doesn't burn down or whatever.
Oh, boy.
So that summer, the washer and dryer in the basement stopped working if you ran both of them at the same time. The dryer was new. My mother was trying to say that since she just got the dryer, then the washer has to be broken because like only one of them was working at the same time. So she said in order for my sister and I to use the new washer, she would charge us $200 to cover the new washer. I don't know about that. I asked her if it was really a new washer that was needed or if it was just the outlet that needed to be looked at since the washer was still working. Something in her snapped. She yelled at me from the top of her lungs, accusing me of thinking I know everything, how I think I'm a know-it-all, and that not everything I say is right. When she calmed down a bit, she turned and asked, "So have you found a new place to move yet?" I just told her I was still looking, but what she didn't know is that I had already put a deposit on an apartment and would be moving in that month.
Good.
I decided at that moment I wasn't going to tell her. So OP is sick and tired of the parents prioritizing and golden childing the brother and yelling at them. So OP's moving out.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why.
I arranged to have my brother and boyfriend at the time help me move my stuff while my mom went to coach lacrosse and my dad was at work. We only had a 2-hour window, so as soon as my mom left the house, I went to the closest U-Haul and packed up all my belongings and left. The rest of my family was very supportive of my decision and even placed bets on how long it would take for them to notice I moved. For context, I had left for a week to go to Kansas City, and my mom thought I was home the entire time, so we didn't think they would notice. To our surprise, my dad did notice, but not until he went into my room to look for something. Still don't know what he went in there to look for, but whatever. And to this day, my dad has reached out, but only to wish me happy birthday or happy holidays. My mother has not talked to me at all since moving out. My family says I did the right thing for getting out, but my brother and sister think I should reach out to them. Am I the a-hole? There are some edits, and there definitely are some updates. And also, it was so bad that all the family members, like the extended family and friends, would be like,
I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you're treating your kids like this.
Yeah.
So is OP the a-hole?
I'm going to say absolutely not.
Yeah.
Parents have different styles. Like some people do the classic, like, oh, you charge your kid rent and then give it back to them when they move out and that kind of stuff. But just the way that it's clear from the breakdown and context that we got, the sibling is the golden child, OP is not, and is chopped liver.
Truth.
The question I think the parents are doing a little bit of this, being horses.
Mm-hmm.
But can you lead a horse to water and have them drink?
I guess we'll find out.
Hey now.
You're an all-star. Edit. I forgot to mention that after she yelled at me about thinking I knew everything, my sister texted me 2 days later saying that they sold that washer. So it confirmed what I already thought, which was the washer was never broken in the first place. They just wanted a new one and for us to pay for it. So we got some comments. Comment 1, not the ale. Your parents are toxic. Your father is toxic for just sitting there with no backbone to just let your mother walk all over him and just enables her behavior. Your mother is a classic textbook narcissist. If your sister and brother feel that way, then they are more than welcome to reach out to her, but you have no obligation to that woman, and I use that term loosely. Nope, he replied, thank you for making me feel less crazy. And comment 2, how close are you to your sister? Are you in a position to help her get out of that house too? And OP replied, I have tried, but she has always had a sinister side to her. She has adopted a lot of the traits that my mom has. For example, if she woke up and was late to school, I would drive her in, but if I needed her to drive me somewhere, she would say that's not my problem. That's lame.
Whack.
She isn't talking to anyone on my mom's side of the family or me because of an incident that I will be putting in another Reddit story. Oh no, not 2 Reddit stories worth.
Whole catalog.
It's odd because they started bullying her a little later after my mom took her out of cheerleading just because my mom didn't get along with one of the moms. Her grades started slipping after going from honor roll to C's and D's, but a lot of her problems are also self-inflicted. So she wants my parents' attention knowing she is going to lose people in the process. Sad. Comment 3, I'm so glad you're out, not the a-hole. I hope your sister can also escape. And OP replied, I don't think she will. Even though she was bullied and still is being bullied by them, she is trying whatever she can to get their approval, even if it means she loses her friends and family in the process. And comment number 4, not the a-hole. The best revenge is to go live. The best revenge is to go live on OK Storytime. Not the a-hole. The best revenge is to go live a good life without them. I would cut all contact with both parents and probably the sister as well. Then get some therapy if you can. And OP replied, my sister has decided to cut ties with everyone except my parents. Whoa. But that is another Reddit story for another time. I currently have a huge help moving forward, plus to support my boyfriend and the rest of my extended family and friends. Thank you so much for your support, Reddit. But there is an update.
Ooh.
There is an update. But yeah, all of the information I've got, OP is not the a-hole from distancing themselves from their terrible parents.
Yeah. Do we go back in and try to do a rescue mission for the sister? It seems like she's a little woefully misguided, maybe just falling into the trap.
The parent trap?
The parent trap?
Yeah.
Is it worth it to save her?
I don't know. But it seems like she's addicted to the attention and maybe was trying. Like I felt like there was some undertones of her sliding OP to get more attention. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's a battle OP needs to fight.
Because it's like, okay, I could go and say this to you, but is any of it going to be received? Is it going to be, if you've already cut off all the people in your life, if you've already gone that hard in the paint?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I can save you.
I don't know, but we got a little bit more. So an update. My mother had always been vocal about what her sister did to her when they were younger, how she stole her identity, and when my aunt got caught by the cops, and how she was the mean girl at school, bullying a lot, etc. What I heard was horrible. When she became a mother and getting involved in her community, she went through a change. What mattered the most to her was to make sure her family knew a healthy family unit. She even apologized to my mother for what she did when she was younger. So it's like this aunt that actually is providing support for OP now was pretty terrible in childhood. With that, my mother didn't forgive her. Instead, decided to slowly reduce contact. Ever since I was young, I remember everything my mother told me about her. My siblings and I were even convinced that our aunt wanted nothing more than to one-up our mother. If my mother wanted to host Thanksgiving at her house, my aunt would say she couldn't make it. If we had a game close to where they lived, said she couldn't make it. I was even convinced that for a bit my aunt was trying to break my sister away from us because she took my sister out for her birthday one time. We really started looking at her negatively when her husband fell into eternal sleep, my uncle, because of bone marrow cancer. And our mother would constantly tell us about how she clearly was faking the tears at the funeral.
What? Faking?
Bad.
That's crazy.
None of it looked good. So we all only would get information from our mother because we didn't want to get in the middle of that. We didn't want the drama. Years later, I started asking a lot more questions about things that had happened in the past. I didn't ask my aunt just yet, but I did ask my grandparents about past events that had happened between my mother and aunt. Turned out half of the things she told us weren't even true. So she's been lying, this whole time.
She was lying?
Yeah.
Who could have predicted it?
Yeah, but I guess, we started out the story with a bunch of terrible things from the mom. I think now all of this is coming to light. So I think OP is just realizing the extent of the deceit.
Digging deeper.
They did confirm some of the stories, but even the stories they confirmed weren't the whole truth. That's when I started talking more to my aunt and my cousins. I would drive to my aunt's when I could. My cousin was also having a baby soon, so I wanted to support them however I could. In my time there, I found out a lot more information about what was happening over the years, including what happened between her and my uncle before he passed. Before they found out about the diagnosis, he had been abusing prescription substances. He was a tough military man and only made the anger worse with substances. My siblings and I have witnessed the behavior, so I started to connect the dots, always putting my aunt down and the boys. She would take the brunt of the mental abuse so her 3 boys wouldn't hear any of the things he was saying. Then one day, he told her he was done, that he didn't care about her anymore, that he didn't care about the boys either. He wanted to leave and wouldn't care what the boys thought. She was done trying to help him, told him that if that's how he truly felt, then he should get his things, but not to tell the boys any of what he was saying. They agreed to go through with divorce. Fate would then soon have it, as they soon agreed to separate, that my uncle would get the cancer diagnosis, and the cancer was already so far, and he only had a few months to live. I wonder if he knew about that earlier.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe he was like, hey, I need to prioritize myself, and I'm just going to dip on all my familial responsibilities to, I don't know.
Because the aunt,
put it all on
aunt
rent in Vegas.
Back in the day was bad, but now she's kind of gone through this transformation, right? So.
But now she has this piece of crap husband.
Yeah.
We're getting some backstory here.
Yeah, this is some good tea. This is some good tea.
I think we're understanding why everyone is the way they are. For the boys' sake, my aunt agreed to have uncle stay at the house. She would take care of him until his last day so the boys would have better memories with their father. In that time, that's when my aunt met her now boyfriend. He would come to tune the piano at their house, and after getting to know each other, decided to make it official that they were dating a bit after my uncle's passing. That's a little complicated. When my uncle passed away and the funeral happened, our family got wind about her new boyfriend already. My mother went to see my aunt about how she needs to think about how she feels about all of this, that they are mourning and how it's about her feelings. And my aunt not only stayed with my uncle and took care of him while he was sick, but she also had to live in the same house as when my uncle fell into eternal sleep. My cousins had to live in the same house that their father fell into eternal sleep. They lived it every day, yet it was about how my mother felt about it. But I feel like the mother's like, how do I feel about you meeting this piano tuner so soon after? But
Yeah.
I don't know. This is interesting backstory. She told her this, but my mom has always loved to make a situation about herself. I also found out every time she said she couldn't make it to an event, it was because my mom would tell her that they couldn't come because it was a private family event for school. When it came to hosting parties, my mother would never ask if she could host that year and would just tell her 2 days before the event. She had all the recipes, even when my sister had tried to remove from this plane herself. I was the only person that visited her in the hospital. But the reason, my mother had told everyone else that hospital was not accepting visitors. Oh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so basically, the mother is just like forcibly removing the aunt from everything by lying.
Dude, we gotta get mom locked up or something. She's a hazard.
For years, I thought my family on both sides were absolutely crazy. Now I've come to find out that they were the thing I needed all along. I've missed them so much, and I'm so happy that I'm looking at all the facts now. As for my parents, they have cut contact with most family members on both sides. I've even lost a few friends along the way. Now have even lost a daughter. My siblings are choosing to stay blind, which now begs the question, is my mother the a-hole for not forgiving my aunt for childhood drama? And there are some comments, but I mean, I definitely think your mom is the a-hole.
Yes, because the familyhood drama in question her getting with the piano tuner,
and also the drama of childhood as well.
Got you. So there was maybe some other stuff. Okay.
There's because remember the aunt was completely like ragging on OP's mom for most of childhood. It was pretty bad when growing up, but then had a change of heart later in life.
Yeah, it's to say like, oh, don't go to the hospital. There's no visitors at the hospital. Stuff like that is crazy. That is untenable behavior.
Unfathomable. Untenable. What does the guy say in Princess Bride? Inconceivable.
It's very inconceivable.
But we got some comments and an update. So your mother is entitled to going low contact / no contact with her sister if she can't get over the events that happened when they were younger. That said, it doesn't give her the right to spread false rumors and outright lies about her sister or her family or prevent you and your siblings from seeing them. I think I completely agree. It sounds like your mom makes everything about herself, and you're more than entitled to cut the toxicity out of your life and go low contact / no contact with her as well. And update 2, my sister got instant karma when trying to take attention away from my cousin's wedding.
Oh, this is like a whole other story. It sounds like.
Yeah, but it's a continuation. So my cousin, 23 male, was getting married to his now wife a few months ago. When I was asked to make their wedding cake for this special day, I was so honored. My mother, on the other hand, was furious about it, so much so that her and my father decided to not come to the wedding. That's crazy. Because I was going to be there, even though they were not going to be there, my sister and brother, 20 male, said they would go to the wedding. Knowing how my sister was with being places on time, I asked my brother beforehand if he wanted my boyfriend and I to pick him up. He would later regret declining this offer. Foreshadowing. Fast forward to the wedding day. We get there an hour early to help with anything else before the ceremony, and I texted my brother to see how far away they were. He texted back frustrated since they hadn't even left yet. Right before the ceremony was about to start, my sister pulled up, disrupting the wedding party that was getting lined up in the back. Thankfully, the rest of the wedding went off without a hitch, but I started hearing some weird whispers about my sister. Whisper, whisper. My grandmother informed me that she was going around telling everyone about her going back to school. Now, you would think this was completely harmless, but if you know my sister, you know she was trying to start something. She wasn't just telling people that she was going back to school. She was also not telling people the name of the school she was going back to because she was throwing a college reveal party to announce her school of choice in the coming weeks.
Okay.
It's University of Michigan.
Okay, maybe you can get a couple of different hats with universities and pick. You can do that if you're an athlete, but
Hey,
a reveal party?
Where does that stack in proposing at someone else's wedding? Telling people about your college reveal party.
I mean, college reveal party is way. College reveal party is just stupid. Proposing at the wedding is like
Smartest thing you could do.
Yes.
Yep.
I better
Biggest brain
see
move.
at this college reveal party. I better see letters of other colleges denying you, and then we get to the one where they accept you.
Yeah, we have to do like the whole draft readout.
Yeah,
right?
I want
Yes.
to build up.
Like-
I want to build up.
Yeah,
I want to build up, and then I want chat to choose the college that you attend.
dude,
Live
that's
stream it.
crazy.
Dude, chat. If I had you back in my college days, that would be so funny to do an admissions opening thing, and let chat vote which college you go to. Chat decides your life.
That's
Dude,
crazy.
Wait, Sam, I had a crazy live stream idea. Imagine you, like, your dad came into your life for the first time, and you did a 48-hour live stream for 48 hours straight, where he teaches you to fix your tire on your car, shave, all the dad things, throw catch, everything for 48 hours straight.
That sounds so wholesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would totally do that. You
Yeah,
know,
dude,
that
that sounds
would bang
cute.
so hard.
That would bang.
It
That
would
bang.
go crazy.
But we got some more to this story. So
So,
she didn't get the reaction she wanted out of anyone. She told and only invited my other cousin, the groom's brother, and his fiance to the party. She didn't even invite my cousin, whose wedding it was. Before she left, she pulled my brother aside in her car and whined about how no one cared about her announcement. He came back after she drove away and told my boyfriend and I what happened. I was pissed. We didn't let it ruin the night, though, and had an amazing night. Now, you might be saying to yourself, this doesn't sound like karma too much to me. And you're right.
Doesn't sound like karma too much to me.
The karma happened the day of the party.
Ooh.
A week later, I saw on my sister's Instagram that she had announced her college. It looked like a nice party that was put together, which made me a bit sad since my parents never did anything like that for me. Only my siblings had the big graduation parties and birthdays, so I called up my aunt for comfort, but boy, was I right to call her at that moment. Remember my cousin that got invited? Well, he wasn't able to make it since he is in the military and got called for last minute for training, so his fiance went in place to represent since he already told her he would make it. She got to the house at 4 p.m., the time she was told the party was going to start. There was no one to be found. The house did not look ready for a party. There was nothing indicating there was anything going on at the house. My mother then comes out to see Angie, fake name, out front, trying to figure out what to do. She goes up to her with a sour expression, interrogating her about why she was there, and this is the convo.
Can we change the
Mom,
name?
who are you? Angie, I'm here for sister's college announcement party. Mom, how do you know my sister? Angie, I'm your nephew's fiance. I was invited by sister to come. She rolls her eyes and walks away from her. Angie is still confused because she was never invited inside. She walked up to the front door that was cracked, letting herself in, where my sister finally came down to greet her. She takes her into her kitchen to find the food still wasn't ready for the party. So my sister puts Angie right to work, having her help with putting all the food together that was supposed to be ready at 4. The rest of the night went as expected. The party didn't start until 2 hours after the original time. Nothing was organized, and my sister only had our one female cousin, Lisa, and Angie there as her guests. Everyone else was just neighbors or friends of my parents. The entire night was spent about my mother talking about herself and my dad sitting quietly, just letting her ramble on. The whole night, my mother was making Angie feel uncomfortable and unwelcome. Lame. She decided to head out around 6:30 since she didn't even know anyone there. And she goes around to say her goodbyes to everyone before leaving. And then my mother then takes this opportunity to corner her in the house with no one there and give her advice on what she should do with the family going forward, telling her that she should cut off the entire family because that is what her and my dad did, and they had never been happier. How are you going to tell someone to cut off their entire family?
Dude, I also love the like, oh, you're a stranger, just cut off your family. Like, no context. Just like, just get them out of there. It's great. Just have no family.
Yeah, that's wild. Like,
Including, hey,
you know
don't
what
marry my
made me
nephew.
happy? Just completely cutting off everyone I know and love.
Yeah. Yeah, go one step
It
further.
was great.
You want to marry my nephew to have him family? No, cut him off.
Cut
Just
him
cut him
off.
It's going to be great.
It's gonna be great. You know, they you know what Buddha says? Attachment is the thief of joy.
Get unattached.
Get unattached. Cut off everything,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be happy. Desire is suffering. Attachment is suffering.
Ooh.
But we got get you attached to this story, so we're gonna keep reading.
Hey, yo.
Telling her she should have the wedding at their house instead of my aunt's. How she didn't do wedding cakes much, but she would for her. Angie said she would keep all of that in mind, running out of the house as soon as she could. So party pics were just smoke and mirror to what had really happened. My sister didn't get the day she wanted about her. Now I can remind myself that my family can no longer plan successful parties without me in their lives, since I was always the one who organized everything. So does that make me petty? Sure. But I know our potato queen would be proud. Update, holy crap, I did not expect this to blow up like it did. Thank you to everyone who has given me well wishes and support. You all have been asking for an update, and boy, do I have one. I posted this to get a few opinions before I met with my sister for dinner. I had told her that since we weren't invited to the party, I would take her out for drinks and celebrate the news. To be honest, I really just wanted to hear what happened at the party. I also received a call from my brother the next day after the incident to catch up. I don't know how the convo got to this, but we had started talking about the party. Without me even asking, unprovoked, he told me he was taking my mom's side on the whole thing.
Whoa.
I asked him why, and he just said it didn't sound like something she would say or do. Mind you, most of our conversation before bringing this up was him complaining about everything she was doing at the house while he was back from school. This is how I shut him down. Me. So explain why you're taking her side again? Brother, I just don't think mom would pull her aside and say all that stuff. I don't know. I guess you don't know mom. Me, you spent a majority of this conversation about how she's been manipulating you about fixing your car, how she's been telling you you can't work on your own car that's under your name, and how they aren't helping you with something that's their fault. Brother, yeah, but what Angie said just doesn't sound like what mom would say. Me, so you were there for their private conversation? Brother, well, no, it just sounds like something they wouldn't say. Me, you can't sit here and complain to me about her ever again then if you honestly think that this is something she would never say. You have now lost all right to complain about the crazy things she says. He got silent. I explained that I really didn't care about what was said because I wasn't there. I cared more about keeping in contact with him because that's the relationship I chose to keep after no contact with my parents. He understood, and we left it at that. Now on to dinner. So my boyfriend picked me up after he was done with work. I prepped him in the car about my sister's behavior, telling him about if the conversation isn't something she started or is interested in talking about, then she will either steer the conversation to something else entirely or just take her phone out and not pay attention, which is a freaking terrible move.
Such a whack move.
It was going to be a lot of complaining. Before we agreed to meet up for dinner, my sister had asked what time and if the place was closer to where she worked so she could make it on time. I picked an old spot I used to work at that I knew she had been at before. We agreed to meet there at 9:45. This will be important later. At 9:25, I got a call right after I had finished explaining my sister's behavior to my boyfriend. It was my sister asking how far away we were. I was confused because she was annoyed, making it sound like she was already at the restaurant. I said, we're going to get there at the agreed time. It's 9:25 now, so we'll get there in 20 minutes as agreed. She said she would just get a table while she waited and hung up. So we get there and the parking lot is mostly empty with a few cars in the back. We had a perfect spot in front. We started to head inside and one of the waitresses was outside smoking. She told us that they were closed for food for the night, so it's only drinks. We were hungry, so we said we would go talk to my sister about it when we got inside. When we got in, she was nowhere to be found. I thought she might be in the bathroom, so I called her. When she answered, she told us she wasn't there yet. She said that she couldn't find parking. I told her the change of plans, so even though there was like hella parking, just meet us at the restaurant I knew down the road. I told my boyfriend what was going on, and he was so mad. Why did she call us? Why did she make it sound like she was here already? I didn't have an answer for him because she's a dirty liar. We got there and she got there before us. We sat down and caught up for a bit, talking about work, school, and family issues. She, just like my brother, complained about our mother the majority of the conversation. Everyone's freaking complaining. Talking about how she didn't help at all during the party, how she made it all about herself. Not once about how proud they were she was going back to school. I don't know. I don't feel that much sympathy for you because you were trying to steal all of the attention from someone's wedding by talking about your college release party.
Yeah, is this the same sister that cut everyone off?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think this is OP's sister.
Right.
So there's OP's mom that cut off like the family and it's like, I've never been happier. And then there's OP's sister. And then there's OP's brother.
Yeah.
And OP's brother is kind of like golden child. OP's sister wants the attention from their parents.
Right.
I believe.
Yeah, and OP's just done with it.
And OP's just done with it and it's like kind of like taking a step back.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if we go it's definitely not no contact. Like the sister hasn't done anything like directly super inflammatory, but I wonder if it's just like this bro's trying to sip his go-go juice over there. Oh God. I'm not comfortable with your tongue in something orange like that. But to put some meat on it, like, do we think he should go like basically no contact with the sister? It seems like she's falling in the same like footsteps as the mom and the brother. Like, I don't know that it's fruitful to like be the one to initiate. I don't know.
Yeah, and get it in the middle of this. I don't know. I feel like
would you want to hang out with someone if they were doing this when you're trying to like link up?
No, probably not.
It's not fun.
It just it feels like princess vibes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we got a little bit more. So then, like a machine, it sounded as if it was a reheated
Redhead?
Look. Then what is that?
ARSE is
You got it.
arse, so rehearsed.
That's so funny.
Then, like a machine, it sounded as if it was rehearsed, looked at me and said, I don't know what your opinion on it is, but I'm taking mom's side on what happened. It sounded exactly like what my brother said. And if it was rehearsed, it's almost robotic. I had a similar conversation, almost identical to what I had with my brother. Since she knew she didn't have an argument there, she then tried to make it seem like the rest of the family was bullying her. I asked why she thought that, and this was the conversation. Sister, when I posted stuff on Instagram and Facebook, no one responded to it. Maybe because it's not engaging enough, bro. I didn't get any congrats or anything. Me. So even though you told them about it and didn't invite them to the party, you expected them to be ecstatic about your announcement? Sister, I didn't invite them out of respect for mom and dad since it was their house. Me, then have it in a park or something. Why did it have to be in mom and dad's if you wanted everyone to be there? Plus, you were telling everyone at our cousin's wedding. You didn't think that was rude or that people weren't going to think that was weird?
Dude, recruiting people for your event at someone's wedding.
Yeah, that's a bad taste. Bad taste.
Golly.
Sister, well, Grammy and Pappy didn't say anything about it. I'm more mad at them. Me, Grammy is literally off the grid right now, camping before her knee surgery. She has no access to the internet, and Pappy is busy winterizing the cabin and making appointments for Grammy's knee surgery. They don't have the time or the technology right now to respond to something they weren't even invited to in the first place.
I'm sorry, but the side plot of the grandparents is hilarious. Bro, she's camping before. Why would
We're getting
you camp?
so much detail.
Dude, why would you camp before your knee surgery?
Because it's your last time to like camp before your knees go away.
Oh
I actually
God.
think it's solid logic.
That's so funny.
She got quiet and just like clock, comma work, jumped right on her phone. I told her I was there for her as her older sister, but I can't condone the behavior of our parents. That's why I wanted to congratulate her with drinks and food. I still want to have a good relationship with my siblings. She wasn't having it and just said, well, I have to go anyway. You're taking care of this, right? Pointing at the food in front of her. Wow. My boyfriend and I just look at each other and I said, yes, we got it. Gave her a hug and she left us still sitting at the table with the frickin' bill. My boyfriend was exhausted and he didn't even talk during the dinner, which was a good move, honestly. We got back to the car and all he said was, that was the most exhausting conversation I've ever sat in on. But if you want less exhausting conversations and just fun, beautiful, goofy conversations, you should listen to our podcast, OK Storytime, by searching OK Storytime wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Go check it out.
That's something you can sit on.
This morning, I got a text from my aunt letting me know that my sister blocked everyone. I checked to see if I was included in the block party, and sure enough, I was. She had only blocked my one account, though, and not my second, which is why I knew I was blocked and not that she deleted her account like she has done before. I was disappointed with her decision. My aunt tried to comfort me, but I told her she didn't have to. My sister will just contact me back when she needs money from me. Even if that does happen, I've decided to go no contact with my sister as well. I feel bad for my brother still stuck in the situation until he finishes college, but I also think he hasn't come to his senses yet. I'm just going to keep living my life with my amazing boyfriend and my mom's side of the family that I had lost for so long. Oh, and to give you an update on Angie, her and my cousin just asked if I could help with the wedding and make the cake for them.
Hey.
They just moved in together and I couldn't have been more happy for them. Thank you all for the well wishes. And we do have some comments.
Cousin Angie, huh?
Cousin Angie. We got some comments and a reply from OP, but what do you think about OP going low contact / no contact with the sister?
I think OP should not talk to any of these people. The one thing that OP should follow in her mom's footsteps of is cutting off ties with family. Low contact, contact, not no contact, but don't initiate trying to hang out with these people. Don't, all of these events and these college parties and these dinners and stuff, like, I'm sorry, okay, you know what? I'm going to say this and I'm going to mean it and I'm not going to take it back. Anyone who has a college announcement party, instant no contact.
Yeah.
Instant no contact.
Ick.
Big ick.
Big ick.
Big ick. Not even like it's not even a graduation party. Like a high school graduation party or like a college graduation party. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But the announcement that you're going to college is like, I don't know.
Hey guys, we're going to X college.
I guess like getting into college, you can have a getting into college
do
party.
it like, yeah, I'm actually completely walking back now because I feel like a part of the graduation party is like,
You
and
got
they're
into
going
this.
to blah, 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 you know, they'll give you the freaking flag and like whatever else, you know, like
Yeah.
it's kind of baked into the graduation party. So maybe
But like I feel like all right, but like I feel like you have parties for finishing a job, not starting a job. You know, like you have retirement parties, but you don't have like I started a new job party, you know?
but why not?
Or I got like a cool new job party. I guess maybe people
Sometimes
go
you
out
go
for
to dinner
drinks.
and celebrate.
Yeah. But you don't
Yeah.
have a party. You go out for like drinks or dinner.
Yeah, it's more of like a one-on-one close people celebration.
Close circle.
And
Yeah.
like a woo college,
Yeah.
you know.
And
Yeah.
you flash everyone. You don't do that.
I don't know. I flash people. When I got this job, John was flashed every day.
Oh yeah.
But we got some comments. So, wow. Talk about main character syndrome. Also, what the heck is a college reveal party?
That's what we're saying.
And reply, it's a reveal to show how many colleges didn't actually want her. Oh.
Ooh, nice bird.
Replied so good. What the F is wrong with your mother? Reply, sounds like textbook narcissistic traits from dear old mom, and sis is the golden child. While OP would be a ye old scapegoat, they are who to blame for all ills. No context is the best solution for such things, and OP can rest assured that the cousins will likely tap them in the future for cakes and party planning. Poor Angie, though, she got slapped in the face with a dose of cray. And that is where that episode ends.
Nope.
That is where that story ends, but not the episode because we got another story.
My parents are tearing down my childhood treehouse. I feel like I'm losing a piece of my soul.
Tear them down.
So, background on my childhood, my parents ran a business together and constantly fought. I mean, constantly. The fights would sometimes devolve into physical altercations that were terrifying to me. I was an only child, so I think I'm the only person in the world besides them who knows how bad it actually got. To the outside world, we were a very normal family. When I was 6, my grandpa asked me what I wanted for my birthday, even though I knew I wanted to escape, so I said a treehouse. By the way, this comes from you, Jenny Jeans, on the ROK Storytime subreddit. So I helped my grandpa with every single nail in that place, and it became my literal sanctuary when there was utter chaos in my house. I was in there when it was 100 degrees outside. I was in there when it was below freezing. I painted it every year, decorated it. I treated it like it was almost a religious retreat for me. I came home every summer from college and cleaned, painted, and even slept in it most of the time. I permanently moved out about a year ago, but I also had fantasies that I could someday introduce my kids to my treehouse someday. In my ultimate pie in the sky dreams, I thought about taking it apart board by board, reassembling it in my own yard. Yesterday, I got an email from my mom that almost has a footnote. She said very casually, "Oh, me and your father are tearing out that old oak tree with your ugly tree house and finally putting in a gazebo with a hot tub.
Wow.
Aren't you excited for us?"
This is a classic movie plot, and these are the evil villains of the movie.
My parents always denied how much they scared me when they fought. They also flat out deny that the fights got as bad as they did. Or they say that since they found Christ, the fights and altercations have been forgiven. And I should forgive them too. But I just can't forget. And now threatening to tear down my special space seems like the ultimate admission that they either don't know, don't care how much they tormented me with their constant battles. I am crushed over this. Apparently it's coming down Saturday and I just can't get home to do anything about it. I asked politely if they could try to please save the pieces, and my mom said, "We're hiring laborers. I just don't think they'll care enough to try." Thanks a lot, Mom. What can I do here? I'm so crushed. Is this just a part of growing up and being an adult that I have to deal with? Should I pay over $1,200 for a last-minute ticket tomorrow and try to save as much as I can? And we have an update. But what are your
Man.
thoughts?
I mean,
Sophia?
like, what do you do here when you're the kid? You like this is your parents' tree.
You rally the troops.
Rally the troops.
I think you tie yourself to the tree and you
Yeah.
don't let them pass. That's my solution.
It seems like OP is not really expressing any of these things. I think there's room here for OP to be maybe a little more real and a little more vulnerable and share what this represents to them. And maybe there isn't an option to save the tree, but maybe there's options to, one, save the pieces, or to maybe have a little more time or something that would maybe allow for this to not be so full of grief.
Yeah. This is really sad.
So I hope that there's a conversation, space for a conversation to be had.
Yeah. Or a hero's journey.
Update. So end story is, I call my mom to please take several pictures of the treehouse for me.
Photo shoot.
From several angles and inside. She was so rude and dismissive and said something along the lines of, "Oh, Jenny, we don't have time for that, and you can't expect us to climb up into that piece of junk."
Oh, Jenny, we do not have time for that. We cannot climb up this piece of junk.
I was heartbroken all over it again because she was callous. The damn French. I decided that the only way I was going to have any keepsakes was to fly home and either take pictures myself or save as much of the wood as I could. I bought a really expensive last-minute ticket home. After I'd already paid the ticket, I remembered that maybe my neighbor would be willing to take some pictures for me. They are an elderly couple, but they had almost been like surrogate grandparents when they were home. They traveled a lot. But Mr. Smith prided himself on being in great shape, so I figured it couldn't hurt to ask him for pictures just in case I didn't make it home in time. To say it was an odd conversation is... I'll just type it out to the best of my memory. Me. Hi, Mrs. Smith. It's Jenny from next door. Are you guys in town by chance? Mrs. Smith. Jenny from the block. It's so good to hear from you. No, we are at our place in XXXX. Is there something I could do for you? Is everything okay? Well, not really. My parents are tearing down the oak tree with my... Mrs. Smith. What? They are doing what? They are tearing down that oak tree with my treehouse. No, they can't do that. That's our... That's our oak tree.
Plot twist!
Ah, the hero's journey.
The
You have
hero's
supporting
journey!
characters. Yes.
We're back on schedule.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay.
Mrs. Smith about to save the
From
freaking
left
day.
field.
Mr. and
Boom.
Mrs. Smith.
This is the part of the hero's journey when like the mentor comes in, like the wise wizard, and is like, actually, I will defend your tree myself.
Yes,
Okay.
young Padawan. Yes.
Well, I think either Friday or Saturday they are having people over to cut it all down. Jenny, I need to make some calls. I'm sorry, I need to let you go. I'll try to call you back.
Rallying the troops.
Yeah.
I called it.
Rally the
Whoa.
troops.
I called it.
So I flew home early Friday morning. My parents had hired some laborers from Home Depot, but weren't home. They were well underway tearing my treehouse down.
No.
I approached them and asked if I could pay them to set aside the boards and metal parts and not throw them in the dumpster they had brought. They agreed. And I was able to save almost all the wood in a very neat pile. I even tried to number everything so if I ever do get to rebuild it someday, I know what goes together. It wasn't ideal, but I feel fortunate that I did get to save most everything.
That's so sad.
When all seems lost, it might be lost.
It might actually be lost, but the tree.
But the tree...
The tree is still there.
Ah,
The tree is not gone quite yet.
and the wood was saved.
Yeah, the wood was saved.
I'd say at maybe 6 p.m., my parents finally showed up, and they were as mad as I've ever seen them. They weren't even happy to see me. What it turns out, the neighbors had their lawyer issue an injunction against tearing the tree down. I can't even begin to say how angry my parents were. And they didn't even really speak to me to tell me what was going on, so I called Mr. and Mrs. Smith back. It took until Saturday, but finally called, and they told me that basically there had been a surveying mistake when my parents had built their house in the 80s, and the tree had actually been on the Smiths' property the whole time. They told me that he always had an uneasy peace with my parents over the error, and I never minded having a treehouse in the tree, but chopping it down was crossing a major line.
Yes. Put your foot
Protect
down, Mr. and
that
Mrs. Smith.
Tree. They said the tree gave them great shade in the summer mornings, and they could not imagine tearing it down for any reason. They asked me what my parents' reasons were, and I told them about the gazebo. And he literally started laughing.
Gazebo.
That my parents had the nerve to knowingly build a gazebo on their property. He said he'd always planned on legally deeding the property over to my parents since it's only about 11-foot error along the entire property. But since he thinks my parents purposely waited until he and Mrs. Smith were out of town to rip down the tree, he wasn't in any mood to do them favors. Saturday was awkward, and I spent the night at a friend from high school. This morning, my dad said he wanted my crap off his property, so I called the Smiths back, and they said they didn't mind if I stored my wood in their barn as long as I needed.
You got a barn?
If you want to store your attention in this show, you can join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. through Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. The most important one.
What a plot twist.
What a
Honestly,
plot twist.
I have no advice because it seems like it's working out. No, this feels like we've had this whole cinematic experience and we just reached the climax, and now we're into the denouement, the falling action of this tale.
The resolution.
The resolution
is in smelling range.
You get yourself a gazebo.
And a hot
make it
tub
out of the wood.
on us.
Yeah, maybe make it out of the wood.
My parents went to church, and I plan on leaving without saying goodbye. I had some memorabilia boxes in the attic. I'm taking them to a friend's house, and she's going to ship them to me, so there's nothing left in the house for my parents to take their anger out on. I don't know how this will affect our relationship, but the reality is we haven't had much of one for a long time. I don't have any attachment to my childhood home anymore, so at least in the near term, there's nothing for me to really go home to.
And you've got the wood, and the tree's still around. You know, there's still a little bit of sadness about this tree, but I think in the end you got some of what you wanted.
You got the wood.
And your parents didn't get any of what they wanted, so that's a win.
That's great news.
Yeah, a win is a win.
A W was a W by any other name. It sucks. Again, like, it's not just a tree house that was sweet to him. It was a sanctuary away from watching the parents fighting and conflict and physical altercations. Like, I'm sure that represents so much and is almost sacred. And to have that torn down is just so awful. My parents moved a borderline stranger into their house, but something about his story doesn't line up.
Who's this guy?
Who is he, huh? Who's this dude? Background information is definitely needed to understand what's going on. So I apologize in advance for the long post. We do live in Texas. This is relevant. In August 2023, I was 1 month PP after having my first baby. Postpartum. He was healthy, the first grandchild on both me and my husband's side of the family. He's very loved and very spoiled. My mom works part-time, so she was able to come over and help almost every day. I was grateful for this because my husband only had enough PTO to take 1 week off with me and our newborn son. That's so little time with your new child.
1 week off?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wonder what's the job.
Don't get paternity leave?
Well, no, that was the husband.
Yeah, paternity leave.
Paternity. I saw you said maternity.
Nope.
Okay.
Paternity.
With a P.
With a P.
During one of these days together, my mom mentioned that an old coworker of my dad's, we will call him Ryan, has moved into their house temporarily due to a legal issue.
Ooh.
What's his legal issue? By the way, this comes from Ryan? U-Young Momo F almost 2 on the
Young
ROK Story
of
Time
almost
subreddit.
2.
I said it as I wanted to. Supposedly, about 6 years ago, Ryan married a woman who ran off 6 months into the marriage. Damn. According to Ryan, he filed for an annulment and has never heard from her again. In June 2023, this mysterious woman comes out of the woodworks with a court order from an Arkansas judge to kick Ryan out of his house.
What?
What?
Ryan lives a wild life.
How long ago did that happen? 6 years ago. So he marries this girl. 6 months in, she's out. He files an annulment.
And then in
never
June.
hears.
Yeah.
And then like 6 years later, she's like, I have this paper. Your house
Give
is
me
mine.
your house.
Can you do that? What's the argument there?
I don't know.
So we're about to hear the argument. Mysterious woman supposedly claimed Ryan was abusive and kicked her out of the house with nothing. Somehow the marriage was never annulled properly. Honestly, it's all so confusing. Anyways, somehow my parents found out he had been living in a hotel and offered for him to live in my old bedroom since I am no longer living there. For context, I am a 24-year-old female and I have a younger brother who still lives with my parents' 19-year-old male. Right off the bat, my husband, 25-year-old male, was very skeptical of the whole situation. He didn't think Ryan's story was plausible and legally not lining up. But I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, my parents have always been kind-hearted people like this.
How did they know Ryan? Did we find that out?
He was an old coworker of her dad.
Okay.
So supposedly
So
he knows
and
trusts this guy.
Yeah, he's not a full stranger.
Yeah. But I wonder, what the relationship is like and etc. But I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. My parents have always been kind-hearted people like this, so taking in someone in need does not seem that out of the ordinary to me. My parents are not well off by any means, but they try their best to help people when they can. But I was wary for a couple of reasons. My parents tell me a lot over the years, and I have met/heard of most of their friends and coworkers. I've literally never heard of Ryan. My parents are very gullible and tend to get scammed by people often.
Uh-oh.
So they get like the
Yeah,
AI
like,
phone calls.
I am the prince of a place
in Africa.
and I need $200,000.
They're like, honey, call the bank. We need to help this prince.
We need to help him.
We need to help this prince. Okay. So I am always very protective of them. Before having my baby, my mother-in-law and my mom both agreed to each take my baby 2 days out of the week. This was a true blessing. My mom assured me that Ryan would be out of the house at that point.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
Because
okay.
having OP's child around this like random man who might be scamming her parents.
Yeah. At first I was like, this isn't really your
Yeah.
business in a sense. So sure,
But
it's
if
your
you're-
parents.
yeah.
But now that your child's in the house,
Yeah,
that
different
makes
story.
sense. You're like, yeah, who the hell is this man?
Yeah.
HE double hockey stick.
Who the HE double hockey stick is this man?
Yep. Around 3 months after having my son, I returned to work and my son started going to my mom's during the week. But shockingly, Ryan was still living at my parents. So the mom did not keep her word.
Or didn't lie, but she didn't fall through.
Yeah. When asked about this, my mom would give me some rundown about the crappy court system and blah, blah, blah. And assured me it's not going to be much longer. Over the next year...
Girly, you're being scammed.
1 year,
He's like, oh, yes, the courts.
The courts.
I can't leave because
more
the courts.
paper want me to live at your house for free.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, that makes sense.
They're like, yeah. I mean, that's what the prince in Nigeria was
If that's
saying.
what the courts say.
Yeah. So my mom would assure me Ryan is close to moving out. End of the month.
Which month?
The woman doesn't have a case. They just won't file the correct paperwork, but this should be it. All of this raised several red flags with me and my husband. I mean, at this point, if your newborn son is going over to the house and there's still someone that you don't trust.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was OP and I didn't trust this man or the scenario, that I would put a foot down and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't want my son to be in the same house as someone
Yeah.
I don't trust.
Like, you guys are doing us a big favor, but I don't trust this man. So until that point, like, you can't take care of him.
Yeah. All of this raised several red flags with me and my husband. My mom starts to tell me how great and helpful Ryan is. My father was lazy and doesn't care about the property anymore. Okay, conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Ryan and the mom are hooking up.
Oh, she's like, Ryan's
Oh, shit.
amazing.
I've never seen that.
Ryan's really great and he can't leave.
And he helps out with the house so well.
And sometimes, we actually let him stay in our bed just because it's.
Because he needs to clean the
he needs
sheets.
that.
when
His
your
back,
father's
his back
gone.
is really bad.
Yeah, and sometimes I like to be a nudist in my sheets, and he does it too.
It's just for his back.
Yeah. So, which the comments about my father weren't new, but now she's praising Ryan constantly.
I think you might be right.
Dude, I'm calling
I
it.
think you might be
I'm
right.
calling it. My husband and I had several speculations about exactly what was going on in that household, including some weird emotional, physical cheating. Yup.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
You said what you said. You might be right.
Mom wanted me to invite him to family holidays because he would not be with his family. I have come to pick up my son and found Ryan holding him.
No. You need to put your foot down, OP.
Yeah, I mean, you don't trust this man, and
Yeah.
he's like holding your son.
Yeah, just say like, that is unacceptable.
Yeah.
No.
I did not like where things were going, but I've always had full trust in my parents. But just because they trust this stranger around my son doesn't mean me and my husband do.
Yeah.
I tried bringing up the Ryan situation several times to my parents. I tell them I do not trust him. I do not know him. Something about his story is not lining up. I believe Ryan also picked up on all this because about 7 to 8 months ago, he began to avoid me.
Ryan did?
Yeah.
Because you're picking up on his trail.
He knows.
He knows.
I know he knows. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that from something? I don't know.
He knows. It's like a song.
Okay. My whole family have each other's locations shared, except for my mom. We got into a heated argument over this. I wanted to know where she was with my son.
Yeah,
in case
very
of an
fair.
emergency. Just, tag the son.
Yeah.
Put like a little
little
tracker
air tag.
on him. Yeah.
Like in that episode of Black Mirror,
Which one?
the one where the little girl, they put a chip in her head
Oh.
and like follow her everywhere. You know what I'm talking about, right?
That's just
yeah.
reality with freaking Neuralink.
That's why it's Black Mirror.
Oh. So she claimed that she is an adult and did not need a babysitter to track her every mood. This is supposedly rooted to my dad obsessively tracking my mom's location. Mom has gone out to eat with Ryan. Ryan has drove her to trips, taken her on the lake with his boat, and they text each other regularly.
They're cheating.
Dude, I just threw that out. I was like,
Yeah, you're
I
right.
didn't even
you're
believe
right.
it.
That's the why else would they keep Ryan around so long?
well, he needs, he's providing like physical
Companionship.
therapy. She needs to be
He's
adjusted
an emotional support
on
Ryan.
the lake, and he helps her out with that.
Just PT.
Yeah, just PT.
Nothing more than
He
that.
has no certification, but
Yeah.
he has
Just PT.
intuitive hands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all of this has come to a head. Ryan's getting head. Sorry. It is now October 2024. The other night, my husband confronted me about the whole situation going on at my family home. My husband does not want my son going over to their house unsupervised. My husband has a new job that allows him to take my son in the mornings that I work. I'm currently 8 months pregnant and told my husband I really don't want to cause a rift in my family right before our baby is born. So OP is about to have another child?
Yeah, so it must be second child.
Yeah. Damn. So
You
she's not already.
gotta-
She's already not comfortable with her son in the house with Ryan, and now they're gonna have another child.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming that there is some financial reason that they need the mom to watch after their kid, but if you had the money, I would say don't leave your kid there if you're uncomfortable, but it might be a financial thing.
I've been trying to figure out for months how to approach the situation. It has been causing stress contractions so close to the end of my
no.
pregnancy. Dang. So it's interfering with her healthy
Yeah.
pregnancy. That's not good. I'm so conflicted. My mom and dad love and cherish my son so much. They love being grandparents and have taken good care of him. But I do not appreciate the potential risk or exposure he would be getting due to this weird relationship with Ryan. My brother's birthday is this weekend, and he wanted to go to the Renaissance Festival.
Fun.
Sophia went to a Ren Fest.
That's true with Riley.
And Riley did too. Me and my mom decided to drive up early due to my son's sleep schedule. While navigating, I caught a glimpse of a message preview between Ryan and my mom.
Oh no!
What do you think it is?
Oh,
What do you
it's
think
gonna
it
be like,
is?
hey Ryan,
Oh.
looking hot.
Oh. No,
Um,
Ryan's the one who's sending the text, right?
No, it was the mom. The mom sent this text. It was a text exchange, right?
While navigating, I caught a glimpse of a message preview between Ryan and my mom.
yeah.
But OP's with the mom.
Yeah.
So they're going to see what
I was
Ryan.
telling you the text conversation.
Oh, okay, go on.
Give me a minute.
Sorry.
Mom texts, hey Ryan, looking hot,
Ooh.
and then all of like the tongue emoji out, like heat, and then Ryan is gonna respond, hey hot mama,
Mami.
see you at the boat later.
Uh-huh. What's going to happen at the boat?
Wouldn't you like to know?
We're going to get wet
Yeah,
at the boat.
and that's the text combo.
Oh my God, that's exactly what it is.
I
I'm
knew
reading it right now. This kind of confirmed all suspicions I've been having. I'm disgusted, but not completely broken due to me already having my speculations. If you want to be healed of your brokenness, you should come join us live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok every weekday at 3 p.m. PST, and just tap our profile.
Stop it.
There's another relevant update, but let's discuss.
I'm a little pissed because OP didn't give us the text conversation.
Is it
but-
happening?
What doesn't seem like
It's not gonna
yeah,
happen.
we never learn, which is annoying.
That is really
But it's also
annoying.
okay because I gave it to you.
Yeah. Sophia knew it.
I know.
Word for word.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like,
I
what do you
think
make
it's
of this
gotta
whole
be.
situation.
Oh, what's happening? Or
Yeah. What do you think's going on?
I think that OP's mom and Ryan are getting it on at the boat
At the boat.
every Saturday.
Getting wet on the lake.
I think that OP's dad knows, but he's just letting it happen.
Oh. You think the dad knows?
Yeah, I don't actually. I don't think he's a part of it though.
You don't think
he
he's
just-
joining at the
No.
lake?
No.
He's just like, yeah.
I think he's like,
you
yeah,
two kids have fun.
it happens. You know how it goes.
You know, marriages are marriages.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do to keep your wife happy.
And I think if you're not comfortable with Ryan being around your kid, you gotta take the kid away. Can't let your parents watch your kid.
Yeah, I think OP said that they've talked about Ryan several times.
Yeah.
But with how stressed OP is,
Yeah.
and especially having stress contractions around it, I think maybe a more in-depth conversation of like, hey, I do not feel comfortable
Agreed.
with my child and my future child in a house with this guy that I don't trust. Can we like actually talk about it?
But let's finish this story and see if there's any more information.
So now, I don't know what to do. My mom and dad are a huge part of my life. My mom is one of my closest confidants, closest to my husband, and my son adores her. I have a feeling if I threaten to stop bringing my son over, it will cause a rift in the family. I think there's so many different options than like ultimatums or threats.
Yeah.
I do not plan on addressing this anytime this weekend. I do not want to ruin my brother's birthday, but I do want to address it next week. If you made it this far, thank you for reading. I'm definitely not great at grammar or writing. Any feedback / advice on the situation is appreciated. Darn.
What the heck? We didn't learn anything.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
I want to hear the text.
What was the text? We don't even, like, Opie didn't even confirm if Mom and Ryan were actually doing anything.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with your grammar.
Just said disgusted.
It's just your storytelling.
You're terrible. No, I'm sorry. But I'm not. I'm a little pissed.
Yeah, me too.
I can't give you advice because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We don't really know anything about Ryan. You say that you're suspicious of him.
But you have more, OP, you have more information than us. If
Yeah.
if you found out something that is happening,
Yeah.
at that point you have evidence and you could talk to your mom and say like, I am so uncomfortable with this
Yeah.
whole situation. I do not want to bring my kid over.
Yeah.
Like, what can we do about this?
Yeah. No, I think that you either need to have that conversation with your mom or you have to decide, am I more uncomfortable with my son being around my kids my son being around my parents, or am I more worried about losing my parents, my son's comfort or rift with parents? Which one's the worst?
And the spectrum
Mhm.
of other options.
Yeah.
Besides losing
Well, no, I mean, I think OP has to decide which of those comes top priority
I think-
if the conversation doesn't work with their parents.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying like worst case scenario.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that is the end of that story. My monster mother said I'm too impure to wear white at my wedding. She's no longer invited. You can wear red because you're the freaking devil. 30 female. I got engaged a few weeks ago and am incredibly excited. We're excited for you too. We actually already have a beautiful, happy, and inquisitive 4-year-old daughter together. We've been living together since my daughter was born and have been together for 7 years now. So it already feels like we're married, but we want to make it official before we start trying for a second. By the way, this comes from Environmental Legal 78 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, I met my fiance Joey, 33 male, my first year of law school. We started dating, and in the fall of my last year of law school, I found out I was pregnant. I was only 25 at the time, was getting ready to start my career, and wasn't married or engaged, so it was a terrifying experience. Luckily, Joey was supportive of me. He said he'd respect whatever decision I made, and that he'd support me no matter what. His parents were terrified and definitely thought I should terminate when we first told them, but they were also kind and understanding. Initially, I was going to terminate the pregnancy and went to the clinic twice, but I couldn't go through with it. I come from an ultra-conservative Christian family, and my mom especially doesn't think people should have spicy sleep before marriage. My 2 older sisters got married in their early 20s and are now stay-at-home moms. I'm the only sister who graduated from college, is no longer religious, and has career goals. When I told them I was pregnant, my parents were devastated. My mom cried, called me used goods, and asked how I could allow this to happen. They said Joey and I needed to get married since we were having a child together, and I explained that we didn't want to rush into that. My mom called me selfish and said neither of us were putting our baby first. They didn't speak to me until my baby girl was born because they were so upset that I got pregnant out of wedlock and then didn't marry Joey before the baby arrived. I see them a few times a year and they certainly love my daughter, but I'm definitely a huge disappointment to them. Your family freaking sucks. I'm sorry. My future in-laws, on the other hand, were extremely kind and helpful during the pregnancy. They helped cover my medical care and even rented an apartment for me and and Joey to live in after the baby was born, since we didn't start working for a few months after we graduated. While I was studying for the bar exam, Joey's mom did a ton of babysitting and was always there to help if I needed a few hours to myself. I'm so grateful to them and feel even closer to Joey's mom than to my own at this point. When we told Joey's parents about the engagement, his mom cried and said how happy she was for us and our daughter. She also said she was so proud of us because we stuck together and made the most of things when life didn't go as we planned. She offered to help with the wedding, but we said we wanted to pay for it ourselves. We want a very small ceremony with our immediate families, a few close friends, and our daughter. We really want it to be about celebrating our family and our little girl and don't need a huge ceremony. I told my parents the news last night since we got into town for Thanksgiving, and they didn't seem excited. Of course they're not. Of course they won't be. This is your parents. They suck.
Yeah, they're gonna flip flop.
Yeah, which is crazy because that's the whole, that's exactly what they wanted. My mom asked if we were having a religious ceremony, and I said no. I explained that we want a small, low-key wedding and that we're just getting eager to get married and make it official. My mom then turned to my fiancé and said he clearly wasn't too eager since he got me pregnant and lived with me for 4 years before asking me to marry him. Joey explained that he's known he wanted to marry me for years, but we were focused on our daughter. Our careers and getting out loans paid off and have been treading water since we graduated from school. They didn't have time to get married.
Yeah.
They were so freaking busy.
They were getting that sauce in the education.
My mom then told him that she's ruined her dreams of her daughter getting married since the event has been spoiled now that we've been living together and already have a child.
Too dang bad. They are your dreams in the first place, dude.
They're literally not your dreams. You have other kids who are fulfilling your dreams.
Yeah, you got it done twice.
Yeah. She told me I can't, in conscience, wear white to my wedding since I'm not a virgin and have continued to sacrifice my purity.
Now, guess what? You were not invited to the wedding.
You don't have to wear anything to our wedding because you're not going to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't invite these people. They
Please
suck.
don't. Yeah,
They
yeah.
suck.
Especially in law. I think the dad's just in the corner, like,
He's
in his rocking chair,
mhm.
like.
Mm-hmm. The mom is like, don't you agree, honey? And he's like, yep. And she's like, and you shouldn't wear white to the wedding. Don't you agree? And he's like, uh-huh. Typically, I laugh off my mom's comments, but I started crying. I told my mom that I've tried my best in life and don't need her constant judgments. My mom said I'm clearly ashamed of my life choices, and that's why I'm crying.
Oh, boy.
Maybe
Wow,
she's crying because you're freaking telling her that she's not pure enough to wear white to her wedding. I asked how anyone could be ashamed of my life choices when I have such a beautiful little girl. My mom said that we should have gotten married years ago for our child and that we're clearly not committed to her or each other. I told my mom that I no longer want her at my wedding because she's been nothing but cruel since I got pregnant. And I only want people who love and support us at the celebration. My dad said he wasn't going if my mom wasn't included, and I said that's fine with me. I cried myself to sleep, and Joey was furious that my mother was treating me so terribly. He also told me that he called and asked my dad's permission before he proposed, and my dad was rude. He said that he'd say no if it weren't for the fact that we have a child together. He also accused Joey of using me for spicy sleep and not stepping up for our daughter and marrying me sooner. Joey didn't want to upset me, but he thought it was relevant in light of the fact that my parents clearly aren't warming up to the situation. Needless to say, he doesn't blame me for not wanting them at the wedding, and he feels uncomfortable having them there too after all the comments they've made.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
course.
they're also casting a judgment on him as much as they are. I mean,
for not being man enough,
Yeah.
for not being a good person.
a good parent, a good partner. I wouldn't want them out there either. But I do want you guys to join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just tap our profile. But there is a little bit left to the story, but do you have any final thoughts?
Coming from a conservative Christian family household, this is not how to handle the situation.
No.
Even if you don't agree with someone's morals and
Yeah.
like the choices you make, you still gotta love them.
Especially, yeah, it's like this is your child who has their own child, and you're gonna keep
treat
hating
them like this. And also, OP is doing the best they can in life. It's
Yeah.
not like they got pregnant and then like gave up on. No, they are working hard. They are being consistent and like trying to provide for.
trying to be a good parent.
Trying to be a good parent.
Yeah. Going to law school? Like, come on.
That's not easy.
No, especially with a child. This
Rainbows.
morning, I got a call from one of my older sisters. She told me I broke our mother's heart again.
Oh my gosh. Now the sisters are
She's
calling.
like, you broke mama's heart. And I'd be cruel not to include her in the wedding. She also said mom has loved and supported me, and my daughter, even though she strongly disagrees with my life choices. My sister says I've made my own choices and I can't expect everyone to like and agree with them, but family is family and I should include my mother. She also said that if my parents aren't included, she won't be there either. Am I the a-hole?
Well, you might as well call the other sister and say, hey, you're not invited if
Yeah,
you think this
just say,
way.
okay, don't come. I don't want you there.
Yeah,
This is ridiculous. You literally haven't done anything wrong. You are just living life. Life doesn't always turn out the way that other people want you to do it. Exactly. But that is the end of that story. My wife called out my sister's toxic boyfriend. Now the family is falling apart.
That's right. It's just,
This is a throwaway account as I have work colleagues on my main that I don't want to know about my family drama, and spelling will be rubbish as I'm fuming right now. Obligatory all names have been changed. So for the backstory, I, 36 female, am married to the love of my life, 36 female K. We met when we were 17. She was out and proud whilst I was still in the closet, so we didn't start dating until I came out at 21. We got married in 2019 and have an adopted 4-year-old son. This is relevant in a minute. By the way, this comes from throwaway annoying brother-in-law on the OK Storytime subreddit. So my sister, 27 female, Sarah, has a long-term boyfriend, 28 male, Steve, who the family cannot stand. They've been together for 8 years and the whole family has hated him from the first time we met him. He is rude, obnoxious, arrogant, and all in all, a crappy human being. He is also someone that likes to claim that he's just being honest, but if someone is honest back to him, he flips out and sulks like a toddler. In fact, my toddler is better behaved than him. He isn't abusive to Sarah and doesn't direct these comments towards her, it's just the rest of us. He's actually a good partner to her and treats her well, which is his one redeeming quality. My dad and Kay hate him the most and will do anything to avoid him at family gatherings. Kay usually just ignores him and brushes off anything he says to her as she doesn't like conflict. However, there have been a few occasions that she has said something back, but it's usually said in a joking manner, which amuses my dad to no end. My mom is a peacekeeper and will do anything to avoid drama, so she just changes the topic whenever he starts, but she and my grandparents all hate him just as much as the rest of us. Sarah is the only one that obviously doesn't hate him. Our son's birth mother, Tess, was Kay's best friend, who sadly passed away in 2021. Ugh. This was a real shock as she had an underlying heart condition that she didn't know about and simply went to sleep one night and never woke up. Jack had been left alone in his cot all day screaming for his mom before Kay got worried that Tess wasn't answering her texts and went to their house to see if she was okay. That is awful. She found Jack in his cot and Tess in her bed. Wow. We adopted Jack as no one in Tess's family was in a position to take him in. We raise him as our own, but he knows who Tess is. Obviously, this is a very sensitive topic for Kay as it was so traumatic for her and Jack. Now, on to what happened last weekend. It was the anniversary of Tess's passing away on Saturday, so Kay, Jack, and I went to visit her grave. Kay is always quiet after going to see her, and this time of year is especially hard for her. On Sunday, we had a family gathering at my parents' house. These happen every couple of months as just a catch-up for everyone. At first, nothing was out of the ordinary. Kay and my dad were off to the side talking as usual. Only I could see that Kay was obviously struggling, so my dad and her went for a walk so she could clear her head. This is something they have done before, so nothing too unusual. However, Steve had an issue with this and asked why they had left and why he wasn't invited to walk with them. Because you're not. Because you're freaking not.
That's all there is to it.
I explained about Tess and Kay just needed a minute. This wasn't good enough for Steve though. And he said she should have gotten over it by now.
Oh, man. It's always the wrong thing to say.
At this, my granddad, who is naturally a very quiet guy, said that his best friend had passed over 20 years ago and he still had days where he missed him so much it hurt. Ugh.
Oh.
You don't just get over something like that. Steve, shut up after that. Good. Kay and my dad got back and she was in a much better mood. We all sat down at the table for our late lunch and started chatting. Everything was fine at first until Steve started trying to butt into Kay's conversation with my granddad. When it was obvious that they weren't going to include him, he very loudly stated, "This is BS. She's getting all the attention from everyone because her friend passed 3 effing years ago. Get over it for F's sake. We're all sick of hearing about it."
Oh, my God.
I'm punching him. I'm throwing hands. This is you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
Steve, you are Satan's spawn. The whole table went silent, and I took one look at Kay and knew she was about to go off on Steve. Only it didn't happen the way I thought. Rather than exploding at him, she looked at him very calmly and said that her and Granddad weren't talking about Tess. They were making plans to take him to the Christmas markets, but if he wanted to be a wiener, then no problem. She then went on to say to him that everyone in the family hates him because he's a toxic, narcissistic F-wad. That whenever he can't come to a family gathering, the whole family is much happier. That there is a reason he has no friends and that his own family can't stand to be around him. That reason is that he's rotten from the inside out, and that Tess may have only been on the planet for 32 years, but she had made a bigger impact on people than he would if he lived until he was 150. That her family was rammed with people because she was so loved, whereas he'd be lucky if anyone other than Sarah went to his. Whoa! Just obliterated him.
Yeah, that was.
And she said all that calmly.
Yeah,
she freaking nailed that.
Dude.
What a response! What a response!
Amazing.
No notes.
She's my hero.
She's my hero.
No notes.
She's
That's
both of
right.
our heroes.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Wow. Wow.
Stellar performance.
Incredible.
Love that.
Incredible.
So did she actually say that to him, or is that just what they were thinking?
No, she
of?
said that.
Amazing.
After that, she got up and went to the back garden, and I followed her. A few minutes later, my dad came out and said that he'd told Sarah and Steve to leave. We went back inside, and Kay apologized to everyone and said she should have just kept her mouth shut. No, girl. No.
Nah.
He needed to hear it. Everyone other than my mom told her what she had done was right, and it was about time someone told him. My dad then found it hilarious that a lesbian had been the one to tell him straight, which lightened the mood a lot.
That's funny.
We spent the rest of the afternoon there before going to pick up Jack from Kay's mom's house, as she had him overnight on Saturday for us. The reason I'm making this post is that yesterday I got a call from Sarah saying that her and Steve wanted an apology from Kay or they weren't going to Christmas. Oh no, they're not going to Christmas?
What if you
What
just...
are we gonna do?
Yeah. It's like, well, then now I'm not gonna apologize because I don't
I'm
want you
definitely
at
not going to
Christmas.
apologize.
There you go.
When I reminded her that we wouldn't be at Christmas either, as it is our year to spend it with Kay's mom, so it made no difference to us, she got really upset, saying that she wanted an apology because Kay was way out of line. I said she wasn't, and that I wouldn't even contemplate asking her to apologize because I agreed with everything she said, and so did everyone else there. She ended the call, and I just went back to work. Then today, my dad called me and asked if Kay's mom would mind a few more for Christmas, as he was refusing to spend it with Steve, so he and my granddad needed somewhere else to go. Apparently, after Sarah had called me, she called mom and started ranting, and my mom had told my dad to get Kay to apologize, which he said no to. And they had an argument, and my dad has now decided that he's done with Steve, even if it affects his relationship with Sarah. He's not having it anymore. My mom wants Sarah there, and she won't go without Steve, so my dad is going somewhere else, and my granddad agreed with him. I text Kay's mom, and she said they were welcome. So now my mom is furious and said that my dad and Kay are ripping the family apart. Or maybe Steve just freaking sucks.
Yeah.
You thought about that?
Is it okay though that, like, you know, this part of the family gets ripped out of it? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like,
Are we really losing
that's
anyone?
okay.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, this has turned into a crap show. Kay has said she will apologize if I want to, just to keep the peace, but I've told her no way. Everything she said was true. I just don't know where to go from here. And the people in my life all hate Steve that much that Kay could have physically attacked him, and they would all still think she's in the right. So that's why I'm asking internet strangers who might have had to deal with difficult family members, what can we do to get into a place where we can be around each other amicably? I'm struggling to see a way right now. Wow. Didn't realize how long this got until I went to post it. Sorry about that. And there are some comments and an update, but what do you think OP can do?
Just to remind me, is there any other issues with, like, is the other family saying anything about, like?
The mom is.
The mom.
Mom, Sarah, and Steve. And that's it. Everyone else is on OP's side.
I feel like, you know, they'll survive.
Yeah.
They'll survive because he did say very out-of-pocket things about grieving,
Yeah.
you know? And so I feel like...
And no one else likes him.
Exactly.
Honestly, I think it might sort itself out because if everyone else in the family besides your mom is against them, then you guys just keep having Christmas parties.
Yeah.
And then eventually Steve and Sarah are going to be like, well, it's not fair that we're not invited.
Right. And then
they're
they'll just
gonna-
want to
yeah.
come anyway.
Yeah.
And honestly, too, like, I wonder if the mom, like, partially is just on
I think
the
she's
other
trying
side.
to keep
just,
the peace.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, just trying to keep the peace. So it's like, she probably does agree with OP. It's like, it's not
It's
bad.
just like, we're
but
family.
we want everyone together. Yeah. So it's like,
I think
you
it'll work
know
it
that
out.
you're right.
Yeah, stand your ground,
Exactly.
and
The
then
people
everything
who-
will happen the way it's
right.
supposed
The
to.
people who are wrong will, just get what they get. And
They get what they get.
glad that everyone else agrees with you. So
Yeah.
you're good.
Some of OP's comments. One commenter says, for things to be peaceful, both parties need to want it. Kay did nothing wrong. I wouldn't ever spend another moment with Steve. I would let Sarah know I love her and will see her anytime, anywhere, but I'll never see Steve again. If you have one guest that basically wants to crap on the holiday table, there is no path forward with them. OP responds, if it was just Sarah upset, then I wouldn't care. But it's my mom. She tries so hard to keep the whole family together, and she's devastated by what's going on. If it wasn't for her, then Sarah could take a running jump for all I care right now. And then Sarah. This is the issue that Steve and Sarah don't see anything wrong in what he's done. It was just him being honest. I would be happier for her to apologize if Steve and Sarah admitted that what he said was in the wrong as well. Without that, I'm being stubborn about it, as you should.
Yeah.
My dad told Kay he will fall out with her if she apologizes as she did nothing wrong. Good on the dad. There was no screaming or shouting. She said it very calmly. I feel like I'm stuck between making my mom happy and doing what I believe to be right. You should always be doing what you believe to be right.
Exactly.
And things will be, things will happen the way they're supposed to.
Right.
To another commenter, Opie says, my sister doesn't see anything wrong in what he says as he's just being honest, but loses it when someone is honest back. I don't understand her anymore. Opie says about her mom, take the high road and rise above it has been two of my mom's favorite things to say over the years. I just feel like enough is enough. He crossed a line this time that he can't come back from. I especially don't want my son around him when he's saying things like that about Tess. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To another commenter, Opie says, if I hear my mom say, take the high road one more time, I'm going to scream. I'm sick of the high road. I've been on it for 8 years. I'm happy on the low road now. And then later that day, Opie says, well, I've just found out that my granny and pa, my mom's parents, are going to my uncle's for Christmas, and Steve's not invited. So it looks like it's just going to be my mom, Sarah, and Steve for Christmas this year. How OP feels about that? Vindicated, as my mom is like her parents. They're all peacekeepers. And if ever they have had enough, then it shows that he's not just stepped over the line, he ran right past it. And then OP continues, Kay's mom has already told her that if she changes her mind, if the mom changes her mind, then she is welcome at her house. Even if it's Christmas morning, she's more than welcome. Obviously, Steve and Sarah aren't invited at all, but it's good that my mom has an option at the least. Later reflection, Opie says, I have realized that he's been trying to target Kay and my dad's relationship as they're very close. I think that was pretty apparent because he was like, oh, I can't go on the walk.
Right.
Like he's trying to like infiltrate it and get what Kay has.
Yeah.
But you have to be cool and a good person.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're neither.
The people have to want
like
you around.
Yeah. To
for
have
you
a
be
relationship with a
around.
person's father, they have to like you a little bit.
Just a little. At least.
They have traveled all over the country visiting class car shows together, which Steve has tried to get in on, but he doesn't know anything about cars, so there's no point in him going, even if they did like him. I actually think he's been trying to push Kay and I out of the family so that he gets my dad to himself, even though my dad can't stand him. Update. 8 days later. Hi, I know how much this community loves an update, so I thought I would give you one as things seem to be sorting themselves out. After I wrote my last post, a few things happened in the next couple of hours. First thing was that I spoke to my grandparents on my mom's side. They were there when this all happened, but they're like my mom and just constantly try to keep the peace. That's where she gets it from. They were supposed to be spending Christmas with my mom this year, but had changed their minds and decided to spend it with my uncle instead. They have made the decision to not be around Steve either, as he causes too much drama. They asked if they could come and see us and Jack on the 23rd before they head off to my uncle's, which I happily agreed. Lovely. This really surprised me, and it outright shocked my mom, as like I said, they are the biggest take the high road type people I've ever met, but even they'd had enough. The next thing that happened was my dad called to let me know that Steve and Sarah had now decided that they wanted Kay to make a public apology in front of the whole family and admit she was lying and that the family loves Steve.
What?
She can't.
What?
No. Like, you have no leverage is the thing.
Yeah.
You've got no leverage.
Right.
No one likes you. He was laughing as he told me this and called them delusional, so any small chance of a superficial apology went out the window. The third thing that happened was Jack getting home from after school club with a recorder that I am sorely tempted to shove up the teacher's backside. So all in all, it wasn't a great day. I remember the recorder part of my elementary school career.
Oh yeah.
My mom hated that thing. She hated it. I don't
Dude,
think
I
any
bet.
parents like to.
Yeah, no.
Like a bunch of kids not playing the recorder who don't know how to play the recorder.
Right. Yeah, no, I live like right across the street from an elementary school, and like, you know, the school I went to, and like everyone in my neighborhood was like kids around the same age, and so like every year it'd be like, oh, that person has to play
It's
violin.
the recorder.
That person has to play recorder. It's just like
Yeah. It was
like, all
always
these
like that.
squeaking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Though through talking to people on here, I also realized that Steve has been trying to push Kay and I out of the family. Organizing trips that he knows we wouldn't have gone on them anyway, as a weekend away with him sounds worse than a paper cut to the eyeball. And him constantly trying to get my dad away from Kay whenever we were all together. I think this is because he is jealous of Kay and my dad's relationship. Anyway, things went quiet for a few days until the weekend. Our town has a big Christmas fair that runs from November through December, and we always go to it with mom, dad, granddad, and Kay's mom. We decided to cheer my mom up a bit to go on Sunday and then out for a dinner after. My mom was told that if Sarah or Steve showed up, then we would all leave, and she promised they wouldn't be there. Things were a bit awkward at first, but settled after a while. At one point, Jack got my mom and dad to take him on the giant snow slide, and as my mom walked back over to us, she had tears in her eyes. I pulled her to one side to see what was going on, and she said that whilst waiting in line, Jack had said he was happy Uncle Steve wasn't here. When my mom asked why, he said that Uncle Steve was a bad man. My mom tried to say that he wasn't, but in typical stubborn 4-year-old fashion, he had argued and said he learned in school that people who say mean things all the time are bad people. And Uncle Steve said mean things all the time, so he was a bad man and that he didn't like him. Based. How you gonna argue with that?
Dang.
Mom?
Yeah.
There had been a case of bullying in his class a few weeks ago, and the teacher had done a lesson on how wrong bullying is, so I think that's where this came from. This finally broke through to my mom. If even a 4-year-old can see what a horrible prick the man is, then she had to as well. She said that she felt stuck because she hated Steve. She's like, I didn't know what to tell you. I hate him. I hate him so much, but I was trying to keep the peace. And agreed with everything that Kay had said, but she loves Sarah and doesn't want to isolate her. I told her I would always be there for her, but I wasn't putting myself, Jack, or Kay through being around Steve again, and she needed to think about what she wants. Not what I want, or Dad, or Kay, or Jack, or her parents, or Sarah, or Steve, but what she wants. She went quiet and then said that Kay's mom had told her she was welcome at hers for Christmas if she wanted to, and that she could decide on Christmas Day if she wanted. Kay's mom would save her a plate. This is lovely.
Yeah.
This is going well. And we went back to the group, and a little while later, I saw Mom and Kay's mom having a deep discussion whilst walking behind us. Neither will say what they talked about, but Mom seemed a bit happier after their talk. They have also been talking since, as yesterday my mom told me that she will be coming to Kay's mom's for Christmas, and they've been talking about going shopping together next week. When Mom told Sarah after calling me, Sarah predictably lost her mind and said that Mom was choosing us over her. My mom told her she was choosing to have a good Christmas rather than being belittled and made miserable, all for the sake of Steve and his so-called honesty. Sarah then called me and asked if I was happy that I'd won. She then did the unforgivable, and used a few homophobic slurs towards me and Kay, called Jack the B word of a or. I ended the call, blocked her everywhere, and then let my family know what had happened and that I never wanted to speak to her again. They're all as appalled as I am, and my Ganny, Mom's mom, called Sarah and apparently told her that she was passed away to her and she wouldn't have a bigot in the family.
Wow.
Props to the family for for standing on business.
Yeah.
They're like, you never can talk to us again.
Right. There's so many stories where it's like the family is like, well,
she's family.
they're old,
you know,
they're family,
yeah.
but this one is like, girl,
get out.
Get out of
Yeah,
here.
you're not welcome at Christmas because you're the Grinch and you don't even have a nice little redemption arc.
Exactly.
Your heart's shrinking. Sarah had been trying to reach out to apologize because she knows she has stepped over the unforgivable line, but I've just kept blocking the fake accounts that she's making on Instagram. Steve tried reaching out to my dad after this, and when he eventually answered, Steve tried to say that Sarah was just angry and didn't mean it. I don't care. I don't care. Even if you're angry, using slurs is never excusable.
Yeah, like what do you mean you
because
didn't
that
mean
means
it?
that you've thought that, you know?
Yeah.
You don't just use slurs willy-nilly.
Right.
You've had to have used them before.
Right, or at least have like the mindset
Yeah.
where like or where you think that like it's not that serious or something like that,
Yeah.
or that's an okay thing to say. Like you can't like do something like that and then just say like, oh, but I didn't mean it.
Yeah, no.
I just like
Can't take that back.
yeah, yeah.
According to my mom and dad, ended up giving him a verbal lashing and told him that he was the worst thing that had ever happened to Sarah and our family. My dad has told Sarah he is disgusted with her, but will be there for her if she leaves Steve. Until then, good luck. Mom has gone low contact as well, but wants to keep the door open so that Sarah isn't completely isolated. I had a few people saying that Steve may be abusive towards Sarah, but I really don't think he is. He usually acts like a wiener when the attention isn't on him. He knows that when he says wienerish things, then all the attention is on him and he revels in it. He's a troll. After Sarah's outburst, I just think they're both toxic and feed off each other's toxicity. She lets him get away with the things he says because she gets pleasure out of watching us all bite our tongues and keep quiet. So mom's angry, dad's angry, our 3 grandparents are angry, extended family's angry, and Kay is my rock. But I can tell she's really angry about what she said towards Jack. I mean, at least you have the support system behind you.
Right.
Everyone is behind you and Kay and Jack.
That's good.
And that's like the thing to remember. Like obviously what Steve and Sarah said and are doing is despicable and
Yeah.
it's sad to lose a person like your sister. But just know that like you have done nothing wrong
Right.
and it's just them being bigots.
Yep.
I'm just sad and done with it all. At least now I know what she really thinks about Jack, Kay, and myself. So there's that. And you know what I think?
What do you think, Sophia?
I think you should listen to more episodes with stories like this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. Just search up OK Storytime.
What a great idea.
I know. That's what I think.
Just
Sue
a
me.
thought.
Just a little thought. And there is a little bit left.
Uh-huh.
But do you have any final thoughts?
I feel like, you kind of are taking the high road in a way.
You are. I mean, in no way have you like shouted at her.
Right.
Or like gotten physically aggressive with
Right.
her.
Because taking the high road doesn't have to mean like tolerating
It doesn't mean letting someone walk all over you.
Exactly. Like you can still handle it in a very mature way. And I think that's like very high of you.
And I think that's what you've done.
And
Yeah.
so I think I commend you for that.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's about doing what's best for your family.
Right.
And Jack does not need these people around him. Because they suck.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit left.
Let's get on into it.
Nah, not the perfect update, but we move on. It will be nice this Christmas to have both sides of the family together for the first time and not have to worry about Steve being a wiener. But I'm sad that this is how my relationship with my sister has ended. I'm trying to get into the Christmas spirit, but it's a tough one right now. The only things that are making me smile are Kay and Jack being goofy idiots trying to cheer me up. However, the recorder can go to hell. I curse whoever invented the thing. Like, seriously, F you. That's funny. Thanks for all the support in my original post and opening my eyes to a few things. Maybe internet strangers are the way to go for advice after all. Hope you all have a good Christmas/holidays. And then one commenter says, I don't think the wienerish brother-in-law and Sarah saga have concluded. I'm glad you'll have a peaceful Christmas in theory. I just think the pair of them are not convinced yet that they're shut out. Opie says, it wouldn't surprise me if they try and turn up to my parents for Christmas, but we won't be there, so they won't get far. As long as they stay away from me, Kay and Jack, then I don't care what they do. Commenter says, may small children playing recorders with more enthusiasm than skill follow Steve everywhere. Follow Steve everywhere. Opie says, this just made me laugh a little too hard. Thanks for that.
Pretty good.
And that is the end of that story. It seems like tough.
Yeah.
Always tough losing a family member.
Right.
In any way, even if it means like cutting them off.
Right.
But it does seem like this was the right decision for everyone involved. And
handling it well, even though it's difficult.
Agreed.
And that's
that.
amazing.
And that's amazing.
Yes.
Christmas spirit.
Yes.
But that is the end of that story.
My brother is holding a 14-year grudge, and I don't think it can be fixed.
That's literally a teenager.
That's a whole teenager.
Fix it.
This is going to be a long one, even for Reddit standards. I, 23 female, am the youngest in my immediate family. I have 2 older brothers, 25 male and 27 male, and my parents, 55 male and 54 female. To make this easier for everyone involved, I'll call my oldest brother Andy and the younger one Ed. By the way, this comes from user MadBroThrowaway2 on the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, Andy has nearly a decade and a half grudge against most of our family for something that happened around 14 years ago. It's gotten so bad that he limits contact with our parents, a lot of uncles and aunts, some cousins, and nearly didn't invite them to his wedding a year back. In 2010, a lot of our family set up a vacation trip abroad to the United States. Pretty much everyone was stoked to go since we were going to Florida during the holiday season from my country. Since we were all under 16 at the time, we had to get travel passports and applied months before the trip. Eventually, all the prepping was finished and we were just waiting for our passports, which took some time to process through, but eventually we got them in person by visiting Home Affairs. The problem started when Andy's application had somehow gotten lost during the process, and the only option at that point was to restart the process entirely for him. This was incredibly rare and no one knew how this happened. The paperwork just vanished. But we were already less than a month out of actually heading out for the trip. No other options to get this right. So our family had two options. We either cancel the entire thing and probably lose some money and whatever time we invested in this, or we go and do it without him, but leave him with his aunt who was pregnant with her first kid and would be staying in our home country with her husband. The family chose to go anyways, since everyone was really looking forward to it and the kids involved would be heartbroken if we all just up and canceled at the last minute. Andy's happiness and excitement for the trip did a complete 180 into him being bitter and angry about it, which is, you're all under the age of 16? Totally fair. Our parents, aunts, and uncles and grandparents really tried to explain that it wasn't personal and was a complete accident and that they'd make it up to him in the future, but he was having none of it. See, I would have had that. I would have been like, make it up to me in the future? Bet. Let's do that. He pretty much stopped talking to everyone and we all eventually left for the 2-week trip. Our parents gave our aunt extra money to spoil him and take him out during the 2 weeks to help make it less unfair for him, but she told us he didn't do anything but stay in her guest room and play his instruments and go on his Xbox 360. So our group of over 20 had fun and whatnot, and I admit it was the best vacation we'd ever had as a family. We never got something so extravagant ever again, because all the adults pooled their Christmas bonuses and vacation savings together for this trip. I feel bad for my brother since we visited Disneyland, SeaWorld, and just spent the time eating out and at the beach. For a 9-year-old girl, meeting all the Disney princesses was something out of this world, and it's something I still fondly remember. Ed and our male cousins loved SeaWorld and the rides at Disney. Mobile phones weren't as prevalent back then, but we had cameras, so obviously pictures were taken. We got back and my brother was completely ice cold to every single person who went on that trip. He refused to even speak to me or Ed for weeks, even after we went back to school. Our parents really felt bad about this and hoped he would get over it, so they tried really hard to talk it through with him. Andy just called them traitorous and that he knew where we all stood now. His anger got so bad that he actually put a few holes in a few doors in the house on his bad days.
Oh no, this is a villain origin story.
But it sounds like maybe Andy already needed some guidance. It sounds like, I mean, I don't think you just go from neutral to putting holes in the wall because like you missed one trip, even though it's like apparently the trip of trips. Holes in walls. It's no one's fault. It got lost. And I think, depending on how old he is, I'm assuming he's like 14.
This is just Home Alone.
Yeah, except he's not happy.
Yeah.
Except he's really mad.
Yeah.
And he wasn't home alone. He was home with his pregnant aunt.
Yeah. This is just Home Alone, but like realistically. And this guy, everyone went to go have a good time at Disney, at SeaWorld, go eat some good food, and he just was home. Would I be holding this grudge forever?
14 years is a long time to be mad about this, for sure.
I don't know.
Whenever our parents tried to calm him down and reprimand him, he would just scream at them and tell them they have nothing on him. That became his go-to instant argument ender, even if he was in the wrong. It always came back to this trip and how he'd never be able to experience it ever. Whenever we were at family events from that point on, he'd always scream at everyone to shut up if anyone even so much as brought that trip up. He ripped up pictures we'd had printed and tore up one of my plushies from the trip. This is like guidance counselor, therapy type situations here for young Andy. He has every right to be frustrated and, you know, you did miss out and it would feel bad, but he's not processing this correctly.
This is not the way to, like, again, this is on the parents of trying to, like, make it up to him. Like, hey, we're going to make it up to you. But, like, maybe you should have told him outright, like, what you're going to do. But the kid's gonna be upset. Like kid, adult, child, he missed out, and it was due to literally like just crappy crappy thing. Like he had no control over it.
The ding dang government lost his paperwork.
He got the short end of the stick.
Yeah. He started using swear words often around us all and even insult people in vulgar ways. Our mom had enough and gave him a slap when he insulted one of our female cousins. He called her a selfish bee in an argument where she continued pressing him after he played the left out on the vacation card. He completely snapped on us and threw the biggest freak out I'd ever seen in my life. I'm talking thrown glasses and plates, tables flipped with food on them. He ruined the day and scared a crap ton of our family, including our baby cousin, who was like 3 at that point. Where are the parents? Parents should be way more concerned about this behavior.
I was like, the anger is justified. Him lashing out like this, not justified.
He had to be restrained by some of the men in the family and carried into his room after that. And our parents got extremely worried about this behavior. Yes, thank you, parents. I never saw my brother get so angry ever in my life, and I cried like a baby when he did that. My mom, to this day, still wishes she never set him off. They tried to get him help for his anger issues, and it seemed to work when he met his therapist, which he still sees to this day some months later. After a lot of trying and different sessions with different therapists, he didn't have another outburst like that ever again, and my parents never laid a hand on any of us after that. It was common to get a spanking or a smack for most kids our age at that point if we really misbehaved or did something bad. So please don't shout abuse in the comments, and if I ever have kids, I won't be touching them like that at all. It's just different cultures. He was just never the same ever again. He had no interest in family time anymore, and he outright quit the marching band, much to my dad and grandfather's disappointment, though he still kept up the trumpet and learned guitar by himself. Music runs in the family, but my oldest was the only one who wanted to play any instruments. Andy disassociated from us in church, sitting by himself in another section, which really stung for my parents. But to pretty much everyone else, he was exactly the same. He had the aunt and her husband do his confirmation, which was really something else. It's pretty silly, but the most accurate way to describe it was like Jekyll and Hyde. Cold and hateful to anyone who was involved in the trip, but his normal cheerful self to everyone else to maintain appearances.
Grow up, man.
This guy really needs a therapist.
I mean, he has one.
He needs a different one. The one that he's got is not
guess what?
pushing him.
Guess what? What you put into therapy is what you get out of it. And I don't think he's putting any of that in. He's just like, I'm angry at them, but I'll be fine.
This is why the doctor-patient relationship in therapy is so important because, you know, this guy is probably a guy who needs to be pushed on his beliefs a little bit. He needs to be pushed out of his comfort zone, and he might be seeing a therapist that, I mean, you know, therapists are just people. They're not all going to be perfect, but it's like, it doesn't sound like he's being pushed in the right direction. It sounds like, if anything, the therapy is like, or maybe his therapist is pushing him to continue to be no contact, to continue to do this behavior.
I think the therapy was because of his anger and his outburst there, but I think they need family therapy.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a joint session so that
I think that's what's
he can
required
get
here.
Everyone's perspective and everyone's take. Because I really feel like, and I'm just, it's an assumption, but like, I feel like in therapy, he latched onto something that for him gave him the permission to be like this to his family, where he's like, he's justified in being this way. When it's really the only person that's hurting is you. I mean, it's also hurting your other family members, but like the person you're doing the most disservice to is yourself. There were a few dicey decisions my parents made that ruined the already strained relationship between us and him. Oh boy, I wonder what those are. Namely, letting me and my brother go abroad during school trips. When you reach grade 9, you choose 3 elective subjects to take during grades 10 through 12. This is pretty much the starting point of your career, so you have to choose wisely. He went for business, physics, and accounting since he enjoyed those and had wanted to go into fields related to those subjects. Ed and I went for 2 subjects, namely tourism and geography, respectively, since they were easy and enjoyable to us. The thing with tourism and geography is that they introduced excursions abroad for those classes pretty much the year before my brother had matriculated. If we didn't go, our parents would have had to let us stay in school doing nothing since most teachers and students would be on said trip. So they paid for me to go to Vietnam and my brother to go to Prague. When my brother found out, he was livid, but didn't scream or anything. Our family couldn't afford to do another big Disney trip again, but they could afford to send us on smaller vacations like these. They could have sent him to do the exact same vacation alone, but he was underage. My parents offered to let him vacation on his own after he was 18, but he did not react well. He just told them it was too little too late and some other colorful things. Again, paraphrasing, what the heck's the point of doing that crap alone? You know, interesting thought. I wonder how old the brother was when they left on the trip.
I thought he was like 14.
I think I assumed. They just said that they were all under the age of 16.
Even then.
Because I wonder if he was like 9 or 8, it's like, that actually could be like a really traumatic like core memory that you end up making like accidentally. You know, it's like,
I mean, it's a core memory for sure.
where it's like, yeah, clearly this dude's entire, you know, a huge part of this guy's personality is informed by this moment that he went through, this experience of feeling left out by his
He's been
family.
shaped by this, and it's the wrong shape. Again, I feel bad for him. There's so many like things here that it's just he grew up in that mindset.
Yeah, it's like at some point, you know, the onus on this I feel like is even less into his hands. It's more in the parents.
It's 100% the parents. Let's say even if he was 15. I don't think he was that old, but even if he was 15, this still, because it sounds like he's still never got like repaid for, or his stubbornness got the best of him and made him blind.
Anyway, he kept it that way all throughout high school, even if it went online, and did pretty good for himself. He managed to finish in the top 15 of the grade for his final year, which was a big deal, and he kept an A aggregate for most of his subjects. He scored a bursary for his university studies and just left to live on campus. That was pretty much the last time we saw him in a regular fashion. Literal years pass without any messages, and my parents are watching his social media like a hawk to make sure he's okay. He only speaks to his grandmas on both sides of the family and our aunt and her husband and their daughter. He meets his now wife, and they marry years later. She invites us since he doesn't want to speak to us directly. Ed and I think we were only invited at the time because our grandma was on her last legs with her cancer getting worse, and he didn't want her to feel miserable about this before she passed. So he probably invited us for her sake. We were placed in the middle of the section, which wasn't bad, I guess. And pause, because that informs us that Andy's not a monster, right? He's like looking out for his sick grandma.
I know. He just has a deep, deep hatred that he has grown like, toward his family members that they had zero control over. Again, if his family members and OP were teasing him about it this entire time, which it was like, I don't think they were. They were just like, oh, the trip was fun. But he was there in the room, and he's like, you brought it up to spite me.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels like he almost never believed it was just out of anyone's hands. It feels like a part of him has always believed that part of it was on purpose, or that they did it wrong. Like, he definitely wouldn't have held on to it for that long.
I guarantee you he used that, the fuel, like his drive to like, I gotta get A's and get the heck out of here. Like, I'm gonna show them all up.
Imagine he's just like, he becomes the most successful person of the family.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what he's trying
well,
to do.
Aren't you glad we excluded you from that vacation, Andy? Look at you, you're on the Fortune 500 list. He just grinds until he has enough money to take a vacation to Florida, go to Disney World.
Go to Disney World and go to Disneyland.
We were placed in the middle of the section, which wasn't bad, I guess. What was really painful was seeing him act so nicely towards his wife's family. Since then, he showed up for our grandma's funeral, who did pass a few months ago, but he clearly hates being around us and would rather be anywhere else. And now it's an occasional dry call my mom makes to him just to check on him. The family is still feeling raw about this, and my parents keep talking about this with their siblings and our remaining grandparents. By the way, you can talk with us about literally anything every weekday at, well, I mean, yeah, pretty much within reason, 3 p.m. PST every weekday on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch. All you got to do is tap our profile, and you're in the live. And before we finish this story, where do we think we could have gone right here?
I don't know. Maybe some of the parents talking to him, rather than just talking behind his back to like the aunts and uncles or what have you, or grandparents. Maybe you should have reached out to him. I know he's being stubborn, but like even when you guys got to a mature age, and you should have been like, hey man, we need to fix this. This is not right. The fact that he is completely normal.
Yeah,
with
that's
everybody
the
else
brutal
but
part.
the family.
One day, I just spoke my mind to my brother and said that he doesn't care about us anymore and that we should just move on from each other. I understand why he's hurt, and I think it's better if we just let this relationship fizzle out if Andy wants it to. If he gets over it, we can all chat and try to make sure we put it behind us. My mom got really sad about it, and my dad and a few others just argued with me for wanting to abandon him and that he'd come around eventually. Ed is also leaning on leaving it up to Andy to make the first move if he ever wants a relationship with us again. So yeah, am I the a-hole? Going to work, so I won't be able to add info or respond for a bit. Honestly, I don't think you're the a-hole for being like, look, it's been 14 years, man. Clearly you don't like us. I think we should just go our separate ways, all of us, until you decide you want to, you know, be brought back in, I guess, because you just let him know that the invitation is open. Come back whenever. As of right now, clearly you don't want anything to do with us. So let's not pretend.
Let's not waste the energy and make things awkward and like put you in an awkward situation, put me in an awkward situation. Speaking for OP.
My mother-in-law falsely accused me of stealing thousands of dollars from her.
So now you got to actually steal it.
Yeah, if she's already accused you, might as well do it.
Yeah, might as well benefit.
I, 33 female, have been with my husband, 32 male, for 10 years. It's been wonderful, and while we have been through tough times, we have always come out stronger than before. The story is long, and I like details, so please forgive me. You're forgiven. By the way, this comes from Cobbler Recent 9483 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So my brother-in-laws and husband share the same biomom, and they are relatively close and involved in each other's lives. My husband's biomom is not a great person, but this story is actually about his stepmom. For simplicity's sake, I will just call her my mother-in-law. My father-in-law, 60s male, is the type of person who cannot bear to be single. He's been married at least 4 times and has always moved into his new wife's house, whether it is in a totally different city or not. Unfortunately, he is also the type of person to take on elements of his new girlfriend/wife's personality in order to maintain the relationship. He will change his likes and dislikes, avoid certain foods, music, movies, books, etc. A small example of this is that father-in-law and mother-in-law came to visit us, and husband tried to show father-in-law a video game he was excited about. At the time, father-in-law called the game too violent and disgusting. Questioning how could anyone play it. It sounds like my parents. Later, however, when he was alone with us, he spent hours playing the game with husband, praising the graphics and story. So he's just doing this as he's like trying to maintain his cover.
Yeah,
like,
I know exactly what he's doing. He's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, but we'll talk about it later.
We'll have a strong
Are you winning, son?
discussion about this. Mother-in-law is the worst kind of entitled Karen.
Ugh.
My husband hates her and always has. I do too, but at the time the story takes place, my dislike was mostly a result of hearing about my husband's negative experiences with her. My husband has detailed the very vile things he's witnessed her do to father-in-law and both of my brother-in-laws. Husband is the oldest of 3 brothers, and while they have not always gotten along, he is very protective of them. There are so many awful stories I could tell about how she has treated husband and brother-in-laws without even touching on what she has done or what she has said and done to me. That is not a tale for today. Husband has severe anxiety, depression, and a history of trauma he has never worked through. I've tried to get him into therapy, but he has always said it's not worth the money. It's not good. A lot of his anxiety is about father-in-law and his fear that mother-in-law's controlling behavior will lead to the destruction of their father-son relationship, such as it is. Yeah, it seems like the father-in-law is already kind of taking the mother-in-law's side on everything.
Yeah.
Husband blames mother-in-law for a lot of things that father-in-law is equally responsible for, which I have often pointed out, and husband is able to recognize this when I do. However, husband feels that he needs father-in-law's approval for some of his life choices to an extent, which has been a point of contention for us at times. For example, we were engaged for nearly a year before husband told father-in-law. Whoa.
He hid his engagement
Engaged?
for a year.
That's crazy. I would be upset at that as a partner.
I would be really upset.
I'd be like, why
I'd
are
be
you
like,
talking to him?
I'm so confused. Why
Yeah.
would you hide this?
The events of this story are partly why. Okay, so this takes place about 9 years ago and involves one of those big movie game rental stores that would buy back DVDs and Blu-rays to give people store credit to use on whatever. We had both sold items to the store, and for clarity, my husband, boyfriend at the time, did not have an account to put credit on, we just used mine. As a result, all of the credit remained on my account, and he could always use it with or without me present. He made it clear that the credit was also mine to use freely. Back then, this felt like a huge sign of commitment to me. Hey, I was young. Father-in-law often gave movies and other items to my husband because mother-in-law pretty much controlled everything about his life, and if she didn't like something, he simply got rid of it to appease her. To be clear, father-in-law gave these items to husband for him to keep, sell, give away, etc. He gave up all claim to them intentionally so he could show mother-in-law he was obedient. Just writing that makes my stomach hurt. One day, father-in-law gave husband a huge box of old movies and TV series. Husband went through it and picked quite a few that he would keep, but then planned to take the others to the store and sell them. It was embarrassing AF to stand for like 30 to 45 minutes while some poor worker had to scan and check all of them to see if they were worth anything. It turned out that many of them were actually quite valuable, and we ended up with over $300 in store credit.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
This was not the first time that he had done this with items father-in-law had given away. It was just the first time that we had received such a large dollar amount. So I feel like the father-in-law's going to come back and be like, hey, I want some of that money.
So about that money,
Some of that money. Husband and I immediately rented some things, and after a couple weeks, we had burned through around $150 to $180. That's pretty good. I mean, a couple weeks, I feel like you can burn through all of it.
Wait, so did
If
the
you're paying for
father-in-law explicitly say
He gave it to them.
he gave it to them?
He gave it to them.
Okay.
He said, here you go. They just did it. He could have done that with it. There was still quite a bit left, but this was a good chunk of the credit gone. At some point, husband had told father-in-law how much we got, and father-in-law, of course, told mother-in-law about it. She was shocked that movies she deemed stupid could be worth anything at all, let alone hundreds of dollars. Somehow, mother-in-law came to the conclusion that all the money was actually hers and father-in-law's, and had been all along. So husband and I kept on buying stuff, chipping away at it a bit at a time. I'm sure you can guess where this is going. Father-in-law and mother-in-law invited us to attend an out-of-town event with them, and while mother-in-law was not our favorite person, my husband loves father-in-law very much and wants a relationship with him. However, as I said earlier, father-in-law stops being who he really is in mother-in-law's presence and just says and does what she wants. Regardless, we had a nice time at the event, and father-in-law took us out for dinner. There were some irritating things that happened throughout the day, one involving a pretty white dress I found, but overall, it was a good time. Upon returning to town, though, mother-in-law announced that she wanted to go and buy some things with her credit. She's just taking this. If you wanted the money, you should have sold those.
Sorry, lady, you deemed them stupid.
Yeah, that's
and you
your
gave
fault.
them away.
Yeah.
No takesies, backsies. I'm not going to say the other thing.
No.
I'm not using that again.
She was still under the impression that there were hundreds of dollars that she should have complete access to, but she is not totally stupid. She knew it was on my account, thus she knew I had to be present for her to use it. This is not a story of her being confused or ignorant of how store credit works. We went to the store, and father-in-law and mother-in-law started tossing items in a cart to buy, and it was already getting expensive. Husband started to lose it a little, hyperventilating, and he even started crying because he was so worried about what they were going to do. You just tell him to not do it.
Wait, about what?
Like about buying all of the stuff with
their credit?
Their credit.
Why is he doing it if he's crying about it?
Yeah, don't let them do it. The entire thing was so insane to me because A, the movies weren't hers to begin with. They were father-in-law's that were then given to husband because she didn't want them. B, we did not receive actual money for them. We got store credit for a place that she rarely, if ever, went to. C, she was fully aware of the fact that the credit was on my store account. Now for a little explanation about what happened next. I have to get pretty personal. I experienced a very traumatic childhood and things happened to me that no one protected me from, even when they could have. As a partner/wife, I have always felt the need to shield my husband from things if I feel that I can protect him. This is something that I am working through in therapy, and I know it is a problem. However, at the time this story takes place, I was so deep in this protective mindset, I couldn't see beyond the instinctual need to save him. So, as many of you have guessed, I told husband to tell father-in-law and mother-in-law that I used the money and bought books for my mom because I honestly thought they wouldn't react as badly if they believed it was done as a gift and not out of selfishness. This is not what happened. I can imagine it's not what happened if it's this mother-in-law. She seems pretty intense.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law immediately became enraged, and the accusations and name-calling started flying in the middle of the store. Having experienced trauma myself, I was triggered by this and completely froze. It seems like they're both reacting pretty intensely to this, like OP and her husband. Like OP's husband's hyperventilating, crying.
Oh, sorry. Opie's husband was crying. I thought it was the father-in-law.
No. It was OP's husband.
Got it.
OP's husband's crying. Now OP's completely frozen. It's like, how can you not see that you're traumatizing these people on the mother-in-law side?
People don't care. People are so in their own world and justified in their anger and their response that when people are being actively damaged in the moment, they're oblivious to it, or they just don't care, or they want to experience a reaction from them.
Yeah. I couldn't move, react, or defend myself at all. They purchased some of the items, using up most of the remaining credit, and we left. On the way out, she was whispering furiously to father-in-law, and all I heard was, "She stole all that money, and she's a liar and a bee!"
Jeez.
Among other colorful comments.
Wait, so OP said, I used the majority of the money on my mom.
To buy books.
That wasn't true.
It wasn't true.
But they still tried to buy things with it, so they would have
Yes.
seen that.
It's still
Oh, because,
well, no, they're
because,
saying where did the money
because
so they've
they
already
used
spent
it for
yes,
themselves.
they've already spent some of the money
Yeah.
on OP and her husband. And so basically she was saying that like she thought, oh, maybe it would be okay if I just said it was like for a present or something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. She was not stupid. She knew she couldn't do anything to me. She was just trying to turn father-in-law against me. And of course it worked. Father-in-law spent the next year trying to convince husband to leave me, and I don't even think he even remembered why, honestly. Obviously, we're still together and happily married. We're totally no contact with mother-in-law and very low contact with father-in-law to this day. Father-in-law even skipped his oldest son's wedding because we flatly told him mother-in-law was not invited. But you're always invited to listen to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. And there's a little bit left to this story, but do you have any final thoughts?
Usually I'm pro communication. It seems with the mother-in-law and the father-in-law who just goes and adapts who he is and throws away his values to match woman that he's with, and especially this woman. It seems like it's just like a dead end, especially if this woman is verbally abusing OP and OP's partner in the store.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much movement for having a healthy relationship with these people.
No. Very true. But there's a little bit left. I have so many stories like this. Father-in-law and mother-in-law are still together because he's a simp, as someone in the comments said. And I know she still talks crap about me, even though we have not met in person in more than 6 years. I have overheard father-in-law talking to husband on the phone, and he has made comments about me that are obviously him just parroting her BS. She blames me for her husband's changed behavior, aka his backbone. And that is the end of that story. But yeah, no, you don't need to have a relationship with people who actively harass you.
Yeah.
That's just not okay.
Yeah.
My mother came out as queer. I told her it's what's ruined our family.
What you talking about?
I don't know if this is the right place to go either, since I'm 16 female. I mostly live with my dad, but I spend a weekend every month with my mom. They divorced 3 years ago. My mom moved in with my cousin, and it was cool because I went there all the time. I guess to hang out with a cousin. By the way, this comes from Van Baby Pony, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, a year and a half ago, my mom made me go there, I guess, to the cousin's place, and introduced me to this girl. And then came out to me and said they were dating. She and her fiancé are engaged now. Wow, we're going straight in. She also said they were moving to Victoria in a week.
Ooh. Wow.
Whoa, that is a lot of change happening all at once for a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
After a week, she was gone. From where I am to her, it's a drive, a ferry ride, and another drive. It takes a while to see her, and that's why I can only go once a month. Since then, since she left, everything is so sucky between us. Now it's like good morning messages and FaceTime good night for 5 minutes. So the relationship is kind of not as good as it was.
Yeah.
And everything else that changed with her sucks too. I don't even like visiting her because it's like I don't belong with her and her fiance, but I still go because I thought she wanted to see me, and I miss her a lot every day. So it's like she's being cut out of her own family.
Sad kid, man. Yeah. What's her mom?
This weekend, I was in Victoria, and she was FaceTiming my cousin while I studied. They got to talking about the wedding, so the mom and her new fiance, and she started saying stuff like how her life is 100 times better since she left, and how she's finally found real happiness in her fiance, and how her fiance is her world now, and how she can't wait to fully move on from her old life.
Could have said that.
And you're hearing that as a kid.
Dude.
Like this 16-year-old is like, oh,
like
what
I'm
about
the
me?
old life.
I'm the old life. It just made me so freaking angry. Like her life is so much better with me barely in it, and move on from that old life. I'm from that old life. I guess she noticed I was pissed because at night she tried to talk to me. I said I didn't want to talk, but she was like, she deserves to know when something's wrong with her girl, since I always seem so depressed whenever I come over. Maybe because you're not actually giving her the time of day.
Yeah.
And that just made me snap. I lost it and started shouting at her. I told her I effing hate the way she came out because my life got a lot worse and it ruined things between us. I said it sucks that it feels like she wants me gone because she's happier without me. And that started a pretty bad argument because she was like, I'm blowing it out of proportion. I just don't understand. We read a story about this before where it's like, yeah, your kids aren't going to understand. And so you have to make sure that you communicate things clearly and consistently in these big changes, because what will happen if you don't is the change will just build up as resentment, because a 16-year-old doesn't know all the intricacies of what it means for a 40-year-old woman to come out, doesn't know all the intricacies of what it means to even have a divorce happened when she was 13. Like, well, she's not going to know everything. Your job as a parent is to explain things that she doesn't understand.
Straight bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
Like she's just like absolutely wrecking all of OP's like emotional stability and everything. Like, again, she's like, oh, you're so thrilled that you're ditching me.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to her, which is totally fair.
And that's what I mean. Maybe these things are out of context, but that's what it seems like.
It is.
And Sophia Callan says mom is self-centered. That's kind of what it feels like too.
Yeah.
Well, then mom just left the room, but I heard her crying when I walked by her room to go to the washroom at night. In the morning, her fiance drove me to the ferry right after breakfast instead of after dinner. Since then, it's just been texts because I didn't want to talk to her. My dad and his girlfriend have noticed my attitude, so yesterday I told them what happened, and he flipped, telling me I couldn't say that crap to my mom and his girlfriend, and I was the a-hole for saying it. Really quick, pausing here. Is OP the a-hole for saying that? Because I think maybe what the dad is interpreting this as is like, oh, you're being homophobic to your mom by saying like, I hate that you came out.
Right.
And I think Honeybee says it's not about the gay, it's about the abandonment.
Yes.
The fiance's mom did this at 13, dumped him on his dad, and then moved away with a new partner. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
That's exactly what it is. And it's like, I'm kind of shocked that I guess the father and the mother were in a relationship for a reason. They seem like two peas in a pod of not understanding how to parent your child and be like emotionally aware.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think they're like chastising OP for the wrong thing. Like they're chastising her for like, I don't know, maybe this homophobic comment. We're going to get more context instead of addressing the abandonment, like you said.
Exactly.
Well, and she said, so before I went to sleep, I FaceTimed my mom to talk again. And she said, my happiness is hers. And if she's why I'm depressed, I shouldn't see her until I'm ready. Again, missing the point.
So missing the point.
I'm missing the point. Now, I don't know if I was wrong to say that crap to my mom or what I should do even. My effing counselor is still in Barbados. And my dad's at work and his girlfriend's staying out of it. And my cousin is too. Again, sorry if this is the wrong subreddit. If there's a better one for me to post in, let me know. And we do have an update that's coming up. So a lot of crap has happened since my last post, and I just feel more crap than before. I didn't plan on posting here again, but you all were so nice. I thought it couldn't hurt to hear what you have to say. But I called my uncle. He wanted to see me because I was scared my dad told him, and that he's ashamed of me too because he's attracted to the same gender and he's my favorite uncle ever. So she's scared that because she said I'm like annoyed that you came out to her mom, that this uncle that she loves is going to disown her or whatever.
Yeah.
So he picked me up after school and I went to his apartment and he just gave me a big hug because he knew something was up. So I told him, the uncle, what I said and why I said it, and that I was scared he'd be mad at me too if my dad was the one who told him what I said. He just told me he isn't mad and he understands. We played basketball at the court nearby until it was time for him to drop me off. That was the last time I even felt happy because the entire rest of the month has been absolute crap. It's crazy that the uncle is like the only one that understands how to be there for this kid.
The only adult so far that gets it.
I phoned my mom to say sorry the day after and talk about how I feel, but all she did was get mad at me for telling my uncle and said I'm not allowed to share stuff about her home without her permission. Way to isolate your kid more.
Yeah, you're continuing to exacerbate the problem.
Yeah, like she like OP doesn't feel like you're listening to her, so goes to the one person that does feel like they're actually listening, which they are, and now you're the mom is banning OP from that. I mean, you're like way to cut off all of her support structures.
Truly.
I said I was sorry about both things, but she said it didn't matter now and just hung up. Then her fiance texted and just said to give my mom a few days to calm down. That just made me mad because why should I? She's my mom. I should be able to phone her whenever. And I tried, but she declined my call. And I think she turned off her phone. I don't know. I haven't slept properly at all since then because I think I ruined things with my mom for good. And all she's been doing is texting me, and we've barely actually talked. Like, I keep thinking about it, and my thoughts and dreams are all messed up. And it's like I've got this soft lump in my stomach that keeps coming and going the more I think about it. It feels like I was right about me being part of her old life. And I wish I'd never said what I did to her. Yeah, and I saw someone in chat up there say maybe she should try living with the uncle because it seems like the uncle's the only one that actually understands.
Yes.
Then it turns out I was supposed to get a tetanus shot when I was 11, but for some reason I didn't. We're not anti-vaxxers. So I had to get it now because Dad said VCHA was on his butt. I ended up having a terrible allergic reaction to it. I got sent to the hospital for a week because of it. Apparently, it was a super rare reaction. Hooray for me. That messed up my exams too. My mom didn't even come see me because she was going to a cabin with her fiance the next day. She's like, I got to pack.
You got to pack?
She talked to my dad on the phone and learned how bad it was, but all she did was text me saying she knew I'd be better.
The kitty cat does things to people.
Listen, man, we thought it was just us guys. Dude,
honestly.
women are apparently just as susceptible. Oh, that kitty's
She
purring.
said that if I was still in the hospital when she got back, she'd come right away. And that made me want to stay in the hospital longer. So she'd come and visit.
Dude, when your kid is like, oh, I hope I can stay in the hospital longer, so hopefully like finally guilts my mom into coming seeing me, something is very wrong.
Well, guys, we're not even a 10th of the way through this story.
Oh, God.
Oh,
We're not even a 10th of the way. Buckle in, because it gets a lot crazier. But I do think potentially better by the end. We hold out hope. She didn't effing come. Everyone else did, but not her. My cousin came every day. My dad's girlfriend even slept by me for a few days. My nieces came, even my boyfriends and best friends' moms came, but mine did not. When I got out, all I got was a text saying, so happy you're out of the hospital, baby, with a selfie of her and her partner showing off the cabin included.
I don't want to see your freaking cabin. I don't want to see your cabin.
That's like donating a bowl of rice to a starving child and saying like, so glad you got the rice, and then flexing in front of like a 9-course meal in front of your mansion. I'm like,
eating at Nobu.
Yeah, dude. Like
I got rice on my plate too.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop looking at that stupid photo. I obsessed over it for days and kept getting that awful feeling in my stomach. Eventually, I just smashed my phone. My dad's girlfriend heard, and he got an emergency meeting set up with my counselor. She's a psychologist, but I've always called her that. I told her everything with more details. At the end of it, she said I'm very likely depressed and might need treatment. I don't know. I got scared and asked her to tell my dad. She did, and she told us to get our family doctor to give a referral to a psychiatrist for a proper diagnosis and treatment, or just get it from the family doctor. My dad got scared and made us get the referral the next day. He made an appointment and asked my mom to come, but she said she wouldn't be able to. She just texted me to stay strong and remember that I'm the most important thing in the world to her. Lies. I don't know what to do. I don't want meds or anything. I just want my mom to love me like she used to again. If you guys have any advice on what to do, I need to hear it because it's like my mom isn't even listening to me anymore, and the appointment is on Friday, and I'm feeling scared.
Dude.
There's another update. There's so many updates to this story, but how is everyone in OP's life just failing her
so badly?
Any psychiatrists or psychologists or people that have a lot of experience with that, like, is this a normal reaction to just put 16-year-olds on meds immediately?
I think there is. I can't remember if it's a psychologist, but it's like
psychiatrist prescribes, psychologist or therapists explore the mind through questions.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just trying to push the pills, sponsored by counselors, sponsored by Big Pharma.
Mm-hmm.
And what OP needs, is someone to, I think someone said like skills, not bills. Yeah, it's like, we need to be able to.
Ooh, skills, not bills. I love all these little, like these rhyming.
But it's chat, dude. It's freaking, they've always got the bars. Yeah, we need to, at a bare minimum, give her the tools, but like, I don't know, like reach out to the mom and be like, yo, what are you doing? I don't know.
But we got an update.
Oh boy.
We got an update. You ready?
Well, I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Let's frickin' go. So update 2. So I would have made an update earlier, but I just didn't have time. I'm in the hospital right now recovering from my ankle surgery, and I just have some time before I go home on Friday, so I thought I might as well update. The day after I wrote my post, I had my niece's mom, my cousin-in-law, but she introduces me as her little sister, so sister-in-law, drive me to my uncle. Yes! The only competent adults in this story.
Let's go.
He just gave me the biggest hug ever, and I don't know, I just ended up crying a little. They calmed me down, and I told my uncle about the appointment with the psychiatrist and how I was scared, even though everybody, you guys, was saying it would be okay. I told him I just been unhappy and that I missed my mom so much. He agreed to go with me and my dad to the psychiatrist since my mom wouldn't be coming. I don't know. I just couldn't sleep at all that night. I felt so scared in the morning and kept thinking about my mom. I didn't want to go to school either, but I did, even though I felt so weird, like that feeling in my stomach was just there and wouldn't go away. The only thing that felt right was hanging out with my boyfriend. At least she has a boyfriend. Daniel Handler. Thank you, Amy Herring. Oh,
I was bothering him.
Yeah, I was on the brain. Before lunchtime, I ended up falling asleep in class and got sent to the office. They phoned my dad, and he signed me out and dropped me off at my uncle's house. My uncle was already taking care of my niece, so I felt bad, but I went to sleep at the same time as her. He took a really cute photo of us sleeping next to each other. He woke me up when my dad came back, and we went to the psychiatrist together. Long story short, at the end of the appointment, the psychiatrist prescribed me a really low dose of antidepressants because I was still scared. I've been taking them and they have been making me feel a bit better. I have another appointment next week because my counselor says I might need a higher dose. When I vented to my counselor, she said she'd be willing to host an extra joint session between me and my mom on Zoom if my mom agreed. She thought it might help to get my feelings across with a third party. I didn't want to do it, but some of you recommended it, and my counselor said it could be a good first step. I called my mom. It was a short conversation, but she agreed to the counseling session. All I had to do was send her the Zoom link so we could set one up for later. I had the Zoom session in our computer room so I'd be alone. At first, my mom seemed so excited because she was like, we can work through our issues and put them behind us. I don't want to talk about all of it. I mean, I couldn't anyway because I don't remember most of it, but it didn't go well at all. When my counselor brought up me not being with her that much, my mom said that when I came to Victoria, I'd obviously stay with her. I just told her after everything, I didn't even want to go to Victoria anymore because I would rather go to UBC, which I believe is British Columbia, because everybody here actually wants me. My mom said that was ridiculous since outside of Waterloo, Victoria was the best option for software engineering in Canada. Okay, these are schools. This is schools that OP would go to for college. And UBC, so it's University of Victoria, University of British Columbia. Mm-hmm. And UBC only had electrical computer engineering, so I'd have to go to her if I still wanted to do that. She also kept saying that she had spent over a decade doing nothing but being a mom, and now that she finally understood herself, she just wanted time to explore that, and I should appreciate it. You don't get to like just opt out of being a mom like that and not expect your kid to have some adverse reaction.
Your child is not a newsletter. You cannot unsubscribe. It doesn't work like that.
Can't cancel the subscription.
I mean, I guess you can with like adoption.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean,
God dang.
And also, it's like you made it through the first 16 years. You know, just subscribe for 2 more years.
2 more. Just see it out. That's and you know what? Hey, look. Well, look at the flip side of the coin. The mom has probably finally accepted herself, finally accepted her sexuality, and she's like very eager to like, you know, be the person that she actually is, but you can't do that at the expense of your child. Be with her, but don't do all these things. Like it doesn't, they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
You can love your new wife and your daughter.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or child.
And maybe you could love your child even more knowing that you like fully accept yourself and your identity. Like I think a lot of people can do that. But at the end of it, I told my mom that I hated that she didn't come see me in the hospital and that she didn't even call me. Good for you putting it out there.
Yes.
I told her I was scared I'd pass away. And she just said it wasn't that serious because it was a vaccine and vaccines protect us. So I shouldn't act like it was serious. I don't know. That made me mad. I just muted my mic because I didn't want them to hear me crying. But then I kind of had a breakdown and just ran out to my dad and his fiance because I was crying. They said they ended the session, but I don't know what they said to my mom or the counselor. Apparently, I fell asleep crying on the couch while hugging my dad, but I don't remember any of it. My dad said I was crying really loudly. I think they carried me to their bed because when I woke up in the morning, I was there. Also, what's your dad doing saying like, yeah, you were crying super loudly last night. That's crazy. Keep it under a certain decibel limit.
These
Yeah. Who am I, OP?
Shut up.
Yeah, dude, this dad needs to
Read a
chill
room.
out. Read a freaking
I'm
room.
about to hit you with my scrunchie. Watch out.
Where did you get that?
I brought it just for him.
Well, my dad was on a mattress by the door and she was on one by the washroom door. Or at least that's good. They said it was to block me because they were scared I'd do something. Every time I think they did something good,
Nope.
they just...
Nope. Couldn't be.
Oh.
Couldn't be.
My dad took my new phone and laptop from me for a bit and said it might be healthy for me to stay off them for a while. I have them back now.
You're such an idiot. Sorry. No. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what? Her mom isn't talking to her. Let's cut off her communication like with her boyfriend and her friends too. Let's do that.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
exactly. Like literally her only support system.
Let her watch a freaking TikTok, bro. It's okay.
Yeah, dude.
She needs a little stress relief because you're a terrible parent, and so is your ex-wife.
Nah, we'll just drug her up, dude. I got some drugs for that.
Yeah, we'll just pump her up, man. Just call Big Pharma.
I haven't talked to my mom at all since then, and I mean not even good morning, good night text. She hasn't contacted me at all about my broken ankle, even though I had surgery yesterday, and I feel like she doesn't even care that I got hurt. Like, I know dad told her that I'm going to surgery, but she hasn't called. I have my phone and laptop back, but my dad made me delete IG and Snap because he's worried seeing her on there might trigger me. A lot of you said I should stop talking to her, but I feel bad about it. Like, when I think about it, it makes me feel worse, like it's over now and I don't have her anymore. I just want her back. The only time I learn what's up with her is if I go to my cousin, who my mom stayed with after the divorce, and ask, and apparently she's still happy and is occupied with her wedding planning. Priorities are amiss. Like, another thing that sucks is that I used to love watching Scream with my cousin, but now I can't even watch it because I feel bad for Billy because his mom left him too. And I feel bad for feeling like that because he's the villain. Oh, is Billy the little knife guy?
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
like Chucky?
I don't
No,
watch
Billy
scary
and
movies.
Scream. It's
Oh.
like, I think it might be the guy who's like,
I see you on the phone. You're in the house.
You did that very well.
yeah.
And the expressions.
So I couldn't even get through the rewatch, and we couldn't even watch the new one. I told my counselor that I still feel really bad and sad, and nothing's changed. And she's like, up the antidepressants, huh?
Crank it up.
Crank it up. And she said I need to bring it up at my next appointment with a psychiatrist so he can up my dose.
Oh, my God.
I was joking.
Fire them,
I
bro.
was joking.
Are we crazy? No.
No.
Don't do that.
There's so much incompetence around OP. So much incompetence.
It takes a village to fail a child. That is what we're learning today.
I don't know. I feel confused and I don't like seeing or talking to my mom at all. I feel like I've done the wrong thing. I've tried to do things we used to do with my dad's fiance and my boyfriend's mom, but it's not the same. And I just miss her more, even though she probably doesn't miss me at all. I wish I could see her, but I don't want to keep ruining things for myself because what if he doesn't want me anymore? I'd rant to my counselor about it, but I'm stuck in a hospital bed till Friday. So I guess that's why I'm back here looking for advice on what to do when I'm out of here. And There is another update. John, hey guys, posting again because I'm confused as to what's going on. And I thought maybe I'd get some opinions before I bring it up with my therapist. Pretty much, I don't know if my mom hates me still or if now she wants to be my mom again because everything she's done lately is so confusing. So my foot is still bad. The doctor says it's healing, but I'm mostly confined to crutches or a wheelchair. I'm not really able to go to a lot of places. I can go anywhere, but I don't go because it takes too long to get around.
I also love how like during this whole kerfuffle, Opie's foot is just a bag of bones.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what's
dude.
happened?
I mean, OP's gone to the hospital twice.
Yeah, dude.
Once for the fever that her mom didn't care about, and once for the ankle that her mom didn't care about.
We got to put Opie in a little bubble.
Yeah.
An anti-mom bubble.
I'm guessing that my cousin told my mom because apparently she came to New Westminster and did her wedding dress shopping there with my cousin and her fiance, and she didn't even tell me. I know we hadn't talked since the therapy session, but she promised me that I would get to do that with her, and she didn't even tell me. I found out because when I visited my cousin, she showed me the dresses she was going to wear at the wedding and at the reception and the ones my mom and her got for me to wear at those. I was confused because I was sad she didn't take me, but happy because that meant she still wanted me there. Anyway, her wedding was on Canada Day, and I went with my cousin to Victoria a week later. My dad did say I didn't need to go, but I didn't want to miss it. Again, missing the point. OP wants nothing more but to be close to her mom. We stayed at Airbnb that my mom got for some of our relatives because her place was too small. She didn't come and visit me there, but my cousin went to meet her and I didn't go because my foot was hurting really bad. When she came back, she said my mom was really disappointed I didn't come as well. The day after, I was going to go shopping downtown with my cousin, but then my mom came. When she saw me, she didn't give me a hug like she usually gives. She just kind of held my shoulders, gave me an awkward kiss on the cheek, and said she was glad I decided to come. Then she kind of turned me over to my aunt, my mom's cousin, to go shopping with instead because she and my cousin would be busy that week with all the wedding stuff and making sure it all went perfectly so we couldn't go downtown. I love my aunt, so it wasn't bad going downtown with her, and she didn't even mind pushing me in the wheelchair, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. I want to spend time with her mom.
Dude.
2 days before the wedding, they had this really big meet the families dinner where my mom and her wife were introducing people to their relatives. Because my foot got swollen and the boot was hurting in it, I had to go in the wheelchair. So my mom didn't even introduce me to people. And one of the few times I was able to talk to us, this guy related to her wife interrupted us, asked who I was, and she just said, "Don't worry about her," and then had an aunt of mine wheel me away.
Are we about to not worry about you? Okay. She's
Again,
yeah.
This seems absolutely crazy, but we have talked to people in the chat that things like this have happened to.
It's true.
This is like, and I think some people, this is Ugg said never wanted to be a mom. I think this is someone who was forced into motherhood, and it's finally coming out that she really didn't want to be a mom.
And she's taking out all the resentment of like, I spent 16 years of my life dedicated to you and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like,
and she's trying to have this perfect wedding that she doesn't want OP to get in the way of. And so all of this is coming to a head. And, we've seen how she feels about OP through her actions.
Mm-hmm.
And now the words are finally matching the actions. Riley, you had something to say too.
Yeah, like also the way that I think it's symbolic that OP is in a wheelchair right now at her mom's wedding because that's probably how her mom views her. Like actually
as a handicap.
Exactly.
On her life. Dude, the metaphor. Dude, I love how
crazy.
we're reading into the metaphor.
Dude, that was crazy.
Like they had us do in high school where it's like, what does the yellow mean?
Yeah.
In this story, it was like, I don't know, P.
Yeah, I mean, bro, OP is so down bad. But you know what? The one good thing about this is maybe now. Bear with me.
Tell me what's good about this,
Buckle in your
John.
wheelchair,
All
okay?
right.
I think that, like you said, the mom's words are now matching her actions. Hopefully, this will help OP see how she's actually acting and kind of be like, look, I got to focus on me because I know mom right now in her current state, she's not only not doing anything for me, she's making it actively worse. I need to,
focus on the people that actually
Focus
make
on
me
the
feel
people-
better.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Well. That made me really upset, but I did feel a bit better because her fiance's parents brought gifts for me. Not my kind of stuff. I think they thought I was younger than I am. And the wedding itself was cool. My foot wasn't badly swollen then, and I was able to use my crutches. My mom acted so differently then and made me take a bunch of pictures with her and with her fiance, and she seemed so happy and told me it was the best day of her life only because I came.
Wait. Time out. I've seen this before where they want to like have a happy family. Like I've seen it before in another story. I don't know how to word this, but it's like a lesbian couple and they want to be like, oh, look at our happy family on social media. We're so happy.
Yeah, it's
as a
image
family.
based. It's image based. They're all doing it for image. They're doing it for the familial clout. It's like that guy that gets a fake Rolex and flexes in front of a rented Lamborghini. And it's like, I'm the same kid, just different toys. You know, like, which is a real thing that I saw someone do. But like that's just flexing something that you don't have. And I feel that's exactly what the mom is doing. It's flexing a family that they don't have.
So true.
At the reception, I wore the dress that she got me, but I couldn't walk in the crutches while wearing it, not like the wedding one. So my aunt made me go in that dress and in my wheelchair, even though I didn't want to. And my cousin said I could wear a different dress, but my aunt was like, my mom got that dress specifically for me and will be upset if I don't wear it. Then at the reception, I was seated at the table with family near the stage where she and her fiance sat, but at the table with kids, I didn't even know, even though some of my relatives younger than me were at the family table. My aunt said they moved me there because my wheelchair. Wait, so they moved you away from the main family table?
Yeah, and there was other like, she's like, oh, I'm at the kids table, which maybe they could be like, oh, you know, it's just like with the other kids. There was other kids younger than her who, by the way, are not her mom's child sitting at the main table.
Yeah.
Also, where is the kids' table usually placed at? Out of the way. Yeah.
Out of the way. Yeah. Let me tuck you over here.
My aunt said they moved me there because of my wheelchair, but I just don't get why I couldn't be with my family. My mom didn't even take a photo with me at the reception. She just came to me once, said hi, and I wasn't even in the family photo because we didn't bring my crutches because of my wheelchair. So my aunt said my mom told them to leave me because they couldn't fit me in. And the day after we were going home, my mom came to say goodbye to us. She talked to me alone for a minute and then said sorry for everything that happened between us before, but that she was hoping we could get past it. As you inflict more damage.
Hoping we can get past it? No. We've passed that road
you are
a long time ago.
Building a wall.
Yes.
In the middle of our road. We're not getting past anything. But if we couldn't, she was still happy I came to her wedding. I didn't really get to say anything because she just hugged me and sent us on our way. I don't feel that sad about everything anymore, though, because I think the antidepressants have been helping. OP's just numb. OP's just numb.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like, maybe there is something about the antidepressants that are not like necessarily numbing, but are helping the brain chemistry or something. I could be completely wrong. I know anxiety meds are more like the numbing stuff.
I just don't.
I've never taken
I feel like we're taking the wrong approach with the med thing.
Complete wrong approach.
I have been feeling happier for about a month now, and nothing has happened to me like I was afraid. For the last 2 weeks, my mom has been texting good morning, good night again when I didn't do anything like text call or phone or FaceTime since the therapy session with her. It hasn't been more than that, but I've been saying it back. I'm just confused with why she's acting the way she is. If you guys have any clue or advice, edit. I wish I could say thank you to everybody who's commented and given advice. I'm sorry if I didn't respond to you guys personally, but it means so much to me that you guys cared. I've read everything and I'll be bringing it up with my counselor. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. And there's an update. We're not even halfway done
we're still
with this story.
We're still there.
We're still going. There is an update coming up. So I got a phone call from my mom, and I did answer because I guess I was curious because she's only been texting me since her wedding. And she said she wanted me to come over even though I was really missing her because I was going to go with my uncle's family to Seattle that weekend. Basically, OP's like, I'm going to spend more time with uncle. And it feels like the mom's like pulling her away.
Don't let her do it. Don't let her do it. Don't let her do it.
I said, no. Put your foot down, OP. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Very good.
I think I would have said no anyway because I was just planning on staying away. Like everybody here suggested, yeah, stay away from her. And my counselor also said that it might be good to define my life without her. She said okay, but then the day after, I think she phoned my dad because he came and said that I had to go to Victoria instead. I told him I didn't want to go, but we ended up arguing, and he said that I didn't have a choice and my uncle would take me somewhere when I got back. Wait, again, we're just isolating OP from her only support person.
Dude, stop it.
So my dad dropped me and my cousin off at the ferry, and when we got to Victoria, it turns out my mom and her wife, I guess my stepmom now, moved into their new house. My mom's wife wasn't there because she was in Ottawa for work, but her parents did come. They're really nice. They kind of went on about how they thought they'd never have grandkids and were so happy when they learned my mom had me. They did offer to get me some presents this time, but my mom let them take me to dinner to some pierogi place in downtown instead. I don't know what to think about the visit because so much of it was good, but the one bad part was really bad. When I got there, I wanted to talk to her about the stuff at the wedding and everything else, like the fact that she literally said, "Get out of the way."
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell her that I would rather have gone with my uncle, but then I just felt really nervous because I don't know. I kind of just felt like I'd ruin the entire trip if I did. So I just didn't, and maybe that was the wrong thing. The first thing I noticed in her house was her giant graduation picture where she's holding a baby me above the fireplace. Then my mom surprised me by showing me my room, and it's perfect.
Oh.
I have a huge bed, a big personal washroom. Because remember, the mom wants OP to move to University of Victoria to do the engineering program
You're right.
that she wants her to do.
That's right.
And so is setting up a whole place for her. Riley has an ICU.
Oh, talk to me.
You know how like in movies, everything looks nice, everything looks perfect? The one thing that caught my eye so far was that she has a picture of her at a graduation with a baby her. I feel like one day everything's going to go to crap and that fireplace is going to be like lit. It's going to be super hot and fiery and it's just going to remind her like she's in hell or something.
Dude.
Riley digging in.
Just poetic
into
metaphors
the metaphor.
today.
I honestly was kind of thinking the same thing,
Yeah,
like
right.
having the thing about the fireplace. I'm like, that picture's gonna melt and it's gonna show the melted
Yes.
thing. But also,
Feels so-
I was literally, as you were saying that, I was thinking Coraline, like the thing that looks perfect on the outside, but it is actually terrible. And Sienna T also saw it. It's Coraline mom. It is the
Yes.
Coraline mom, you know, giving all these promises, but it's actually terrible.
Yep.
I haven't seen that movie in ages. Such a spooky movie.
I haven't seen it ever.
Well, I have a huge bed, a big personal washroom, a walk-in closet, one of those fancy standing desks, and a TV. It's all white because my mom was like, when my foot is better, she wants me to come and paint and decorate it all with her. She even promised she'd never let anybody use the room, even if I'm not there that often. Again, I feel like she's just setting OP up for another emotional, like just depth. Another
So that's a
emotional
waste. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
He's going to use it just to put her in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. And lock the door, throw out
Yeah.
the key.
Oh.
The first night I got back from the pierogi place, my mom, my cousin, and I stayed up so late just watching TV, and I even fell asleep hugging her. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The next day we went downtown, and my mom took us shopping and then to the Royal British Columbia Museum, the one with the mammoths. My foot and my hands really started hurting afterwards because my mom made me use my crutches and not the wheelchair. She said it'd be good exercise, but we all know it's just because she didn't want to push that wheelchair.
Okay. Yes. And also, by the end of this story, all of OP's bones will be broken.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
How terrible is this person? So then she took us to the spa. We took so many pictures, and I'm pretty sure she put them on Instagram, but I'm not allowed on it anymore. Again, I feel like she's just flexing for the gram.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm not sure. I was really tired when we got back, so I conked out right away. When I woke up in the morning, my mom actually brought me pancakes in bed because of my foot, because I love it when she makes me those. I don't trust a single thing that's happening right now.
Nope.
It's Coraline. It's Coraline, Coraline, Coraline. Buttons for eyes. Buttons. The rest of that day was good too, except at night. The shoe gonna drop.
Here we go.
My mom said that when I moved in for university, we could make every day like this. So she's like making the perfect day, try to suck her in.
Yeah. It's one day.
Mm.
One.
So I reminded her I might go to University of British Columbia instead.
Yep.
Not UVic.
Mm-hmm.
And we got into a really big argument about university. And I did scream at her and bring up stuff from before, but pretty much my mom said that she wants me to go to UVic if I still want to do software engineering. She said that if it was any other kind of engineering I wanted to do, she wouldn't mind paying for UBC, but that it's not a good for software. She did say she would still pay no matter where I went, but she'd be really disappointed if I chose not to go to the best university for my degree, where I could also stay with her, just because I blamed her coming out and moving for everything bad that's happening to me since then. Conspiracy theory.
Talk to me.
Conspiracy theory. And maybe this is a little bit too far. I think the mom is thinking about her retirement and who's going to take care of her in her old age. And
Okay.
she wants OP to make that money so OP can pay for end of life care / like elderly care when she's older. I think it's also a gram play. It's an Instagram play, and it's like a take care of me when you're old play, and I want you to get as much money as possible.
And OP's like 16, right?
16,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, I was gonna go down the child support route. Like, oh, if she takes care of her, she gets money from the husband, from the ex-husband.
I'm
But
not
it's only
seeing
2
that
years left.
as much, but yeah, I think because it's only 2 years left. That's my conspiracy theory. What do you guys think?
I am trying to figure out what she's trying to get out of this.
Yeah, because it's like she's always been trying to get something out of it. It doesn't feel like it's just altruistic, you know?
She's 1,000% doing it for something other than out of just pure love for her daughter and what's best for her daughter. It is absolutely not in the daughter's best interest and absolutely is in the mother's best interest. It could be. I don't know. Maybe it is just the familial, the family clout, you know?
Yeah.
Just like ooh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Is it to be looking good for her new wife's family? But she did, like, she was like, oh, don't worry about her, I think, in front of them.
Maybe.
So,
because does her wife got a lot of, and they're very family oriented?
Oh,
yeah.
Ho.
Yes.
All right. Fiance.
Yes.
Fiance's parents were like, I thought I would never have a grandbaby. Maybe they
got
want
her toys.
Say again?
And they got her toys and gifts at the wedding thing.
Toys and gifts at the wedding thing. I think the parents of OP's mom's fiance are like, maybe want to support OP's mom and the fiance more.
Yes.
If there's a grandbaby in the pictures. Dieter Statham, the in-laws were so happy to have the grandkid. Yes.
Yes.
It's for the wife's mother, Samantha Laurie. Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Also.
Oh, if you go to college, child support continues. Is that true?
Interesting.
And maybe if it's like a specific college,
double paid. So she's getting it from her new in-laws,
Yep.
the grandparents, and still getting it from ex-husband. Like double money.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, Deirdre Statham says in Canada, yes.
Oh, in Canada. Wow.
Rebecca Perales says the penny drops. Yes, she's trying to look good for the in-laws. So we have been right. It's all for show.
Yes.
But it's not just for the gram. It's for the fiance's parents.
Dude.
Oh, dude, I feel like Reddit Sherlock Holmes right now.
Cooked.
Oh, we
Cooked.
we cooked.
Absolutely cooked.
We cooked. Let's go. She also said I need to stop exaggerating how bad everything has been because it shouldn't make me change my university plan. I tried telling her that's not what I meant, but I couldn't say it right, and I effing started crying, and she seemed to get really mad. She didn't yell or anything, but she just gave a frustrated sigh and said I need to stop crying, grow up, and accept that she handled things the best way she could, and my attitude problems were why it's been such a bad year for us. It's not me, it's you.
That's exactly what this mom. You're a big woman, baby. Mom.
That just made me cry more. And she said, if I don't grow up, I'm never going to get a husband, and then left the room.
What is that about? Never gonna get a husband? What are you talking about? That has nothing to do with anything you.
I just kind of kept crying because I don't feel like any of that is true. And the husband part was so effing weird. And I honestly can't stop thinking about that part specifically. Half an hour later, she came back with water and made me drink and started yelling at me how if I wanted to do computer or electrical or any other engineering, she'd support UBC, but the UVic is the best for software outside of Waterloo, and she doesn't want to send me so far away, but would still pay for it if that's what I choose. I don't know why she wanted to keep talking about that, but I didn't, so I just agreed when she said she'll take me to talk to an advisor to convince me next time I come over. Me and my cousin left early next morning. So yesterday, me and my mom said she'd try to come over for my birthday because her in-laws really wanted to attend. The in-laws really wanted to attend.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that. And that she'd try and make an appointment at UVic once my foot's better. The thing is, that argument was the one bad thing about the visit. Everything else would have been perfect because it was just like it used to be with her. And I didn't even know if I'd be posting if it had been, but I just can't stop thinking about the stuff that she said when we argued. I don't even know why she said the husband thing. I just don't get what the F she means by that or why she would bring it up. I'm not going to smash my phone this time, but I do feel mad thinking about it. I told my cousin about the argument we had on the way back, and she told me she personally thinks I should go to UBC and would try to convince my mom, but that she thinks she just wants me to live with her again. I told my dad and his fiance about it, and he apologized for making me go, but said that he had to. He and his fiance have checked on me a dozen times already. Like, I'm getting that stupid effing feeling in my stomach again every time I think about it, and I wish I would be able to go with my uncle instead, but I'm going to spend the rest of the week at his apartment, so I guess it's fine. I'm going to go to my counselor again today before my uncle picks me up. Does anybody have any advice for what I could bring up? Because we went through the comments posted here last time, and we have another update. We have another third of this story left.
Wow.
Another third.
And Uncle is up next, and they've discussed the Reddit posts and stuff together. That's who she was reading the comments with.
So it seems like Reddit's helping.
Reddit's helping, and I love the fact that the uncle is like sitting down and like discussing this stuff with her. Really good, right?
I think no. I think it's the dad.
Oh, the dad. Okay. I mean, better than nothing. Yeah, dad's acting like a dummy, but it does seem he is like apologizing for when I had to. What does that mean? But there's little
I had to.
Everyone is so heated with the story.
Yeah.
OP's mom is going to get me a record in my own true crime podcast. Yeah, people are pissed.
They're like, should we do a trigger warning?
Yeah, someone said
parenting?
trigger warning for crappy mother. I mean, I guess. Well, update 5. So some stuff happened. I've pretty much just been texting with my mom since my visit to her. I try to keep it to good night, good morning, but when I didn't respond to her other messages, she phoned my dad. And he told me I didn't have to phone her, but to at least respond to her other messages. I did have to go to the Victoria for Thanksgiving because her wife's whole family was going to be there, and she told my dad I had to go. Again, when the wife's whole family's there, who needs to show up? OP.
Like magic.
Yeah, it's all posturing. Ugh. I was only there for 3 days with my cousin, and the first 2 days my mom pretty much spent with me, and it was like it used to be again. Like, she and I went shopping, we even cuddled to sleep watching TV again. But the third day, she and her wife were focused on the dinner and the guests and everything, so I get it. Yeah, I was upset that she paid really little attention to me, but her wife's entire immediate family was there, and I get that she needed to focus on them. But when we left after dinner, we had to take the really late ferry. My mom said bye, and she was going to book a meeting at University of Victoria to take me to, and didn't even give me a second to talk about it before waving us goodbye. And then it went back to just texting good morning, good night until my birthday. So literally, when there needs to be a performance, the mom's like, oh, like, let's have the perfect day. And as soon as OP's gone, out of sight, out of mind.
Emmy award-winning performances when she needs something.
Emmy Award,
Golden Globes.
Golden Globes.
I would love to plant like an audio something so we could hear what this mom says about her kid whenever she's not around.
So
mom
true.
in quotes. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm. So then my mom and her wife came with my wife's parents because my mom was like, they really wanted to celebrate my birthday. Again, the wife's parents are there.
Yep.
I guess they're my step-grandparents, but I really like them, and they seem to really like me too. I mean, step-grandma said the best thing about the wedding was that they finally got a grandchild, and they brought a lot of presents for me, the step-grandparents. They have a niece around my age, and they had her go out with them and just get so much stuff, and they think someone my age will like it, and I do like it. My mom got me an album of pictures of us and said to look at the photos whenever I miss her because it'll make it like she's right there with me. No. At the party, mom and dad seemed to get along just like when they were married, like they were laughing, telling jokes, even had me do goofy pictures with them like we all used to. Mom's wife got along with dad's fiance and with my uncle, his son, and his son's wife. My mom didn't talk to my uncle at all beyond when he came to say hi to her, and she said hi in a really mean tone to him, which was weird since they used to be so close. I guess she's still mad at him for when I talked to him about what was going on. She was really weird with my boyfriend and was nonstop making jokes about him and me getting married and making her a grandma. She straight up said to him, I don't want you to wait until I'm gray and in my 40s to make me a grandma. But his mom also got in the jokes, so I guess it was just a mom thing. My mom and her wife left after only about an hour and a half to go stay at a fancy hotel all the way over in Cole Harbor, even though my dad did offer them a room. Cole Harbor, 95% complete.
I'm halfway through the
96.
final episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Good.
Mom just said she doesn't feel it'd be appropriate to stay in the same house as him, and it's too painful for her because she designed the house when I asked her why she couldn't stay. It did piss me off because they came at 4, and so when everyone was setting up, so I guess that means they missed the actual party. My step-grandparents stayed, though, and only left in the morning when my mom and her wife came to pick them up. Then at 8:30, my mom did a FaceTime with me, but it looked like she and her wife were in the hotel spa or something. Doesn't make sense because I thought those closed pretty early in the day, but they were wearing those robes and looked like they were someplace really fancy. Then my mom was like she has to hang up because she doesn't want me to see them without clothes on. Weird. And they were both giggling at that. That really effing pissed me off. And they ditched my birthday to go hang out in a spa.
Yep, here we are again. Who could have predicted this?
Dude.
Who could have predicted it?
And the clothes thing, because like now they're about to go to a spa and not have clothes on either. I don't know, I'm just trying to connect things.
Riley's metaphors continuing. He's diving in deep to the Reddit metaphor and
There's something
allegory.
there.
The
There's
clothes
something
are
there.
off, and so is
The symbolism.
everything else.
Yes, yeah. We're finally seeing underneath the clothes
That's
of
right.
what's really there,
That's
and
right.
it's a stinky, stinky body of mother.
Yep,
Yeah. Anyway,
got him.
maybe they were actually doing something else, but I honestly don't want to even think about that beyond what I have to. Then there's the album that she gave me as a present. I didn't really think about it a lot then because I was happy that she came, but I did try yesterday because my dad's fiance was meeting with some of her relatives for last minute planning because her and dad's wedding is on Sunday. I wasn't with them because I studied, but when I did leave my room to get my charger, I heard them talking about me. My dad's fiance was saying the best stuff about me, but her relatives were saying some crappy things about my mom, and she wasn't stopping them. So maybe finally everyone's seeing how crappy the mom is.
Yeah, they're understanding. Okay, this could be good. Could be great.
She was also talking about how my mom is forcing my dad's hand to send me to her over winter break instead of my uncle's because that's when their honeymoon is. I didn't mean to spy, and I get now that I'm writing about it that what they were saying wasn't exactly wrong, and they were only saying it because they didn't think I'd hear. It really effing pissed me off and still does. I was upset, and I looked at the album, and it's pictures of both of us, my mom and I, from when I was a baby until now. And behind each picture, she slid a note about why the memory is special or what the picture means to her if she can't remember. But it just made me angry because of how few photos there are from after she moved to Victoria. Most of them are ones from the wedding day and barely anything before that. So it's like she just started collecting these photos once she needed to.
Yes.
To prove to the fiance's parents. There's only one photo in it that was like a month before she came out, and it's when she lived in my cousin's house, and pretty much I surprised her with cookies that my cousin and I made that day. When I surprised her, she hugged me so tight and told me she was proud of me. My cousin took the photo on her phone. But that night, I found her crying in her room, and she said it's because I'm growing up, and said something like how she wishes she could live in the moments like that forever, since she's so proud of me. And it makes me so mad because that's what I want back, and the fact that I'm not even in photos of her pre-wedding events and reception and so much other stuff in Victoria just makes it seem as if it's an album giving proof that I've barely been in her life and that I should be happy for it. And I know I shouldn't be thinking that because she's actually gave me a good gift and I'm poisoning it with my own mind instead of valuing it and all the memories inside. But my therapist has been trying to help me define life without her. And it's hard because I don't want to, because I can't let go of this feeling that it could be good again. And I don't want those people to be right. But my therapist says it's all right to want that. But for my own sake, I need to, in case it doesn't ever happen again. And it'll help once I'm in university. So I've been trying, but I hate it. So I guess I came here to ask for advice and stuff I can bring into therapy. There's another update. The day after my dad and his fiance got married, I guess she's also my stepmom now, I had to go to Victoria because my mom wanted me there. My cousin was supposed to come, but she changed plans because her boyfriend got time off work, so they went to Whistler instead. When I got to my mom's house, I was there for half an hour and found out my mom and her wife were going to Ottawa for her wife's job. So I'd be staying with my step-grandparents until Christmas weekend. I call them step-grandparents here because it makes sense for some reason, but in real life, I started calling them Nana and Papa. I'll be honest, I had so much fun with them. I really love them both so much. Step grandpa loves basketball as well, and he's also a Lakers fan. Step grandma taught me how to knit. I'm not that good. And they made me amazing breakfast and lunch every day I was there. We would go out for dinner every night, and they live even closer to UVEC than my mom does. So they said if I go there, they turn a room in a study room for me. Oh.
Wow.
The thing is, when my mom came back and I went back there, she told me that she found out while in Ottawa that they got a new car for me for Christmas.
Whoa.
The grandparents.
Dude, she's got now her own like sick room, a study room, and a new car.
Finally, someone that actually, yeah, dude, yeah,
Dude.
the dark,
The money goblin.
that is some symbolism right there.
Yeah,
the
that's
dark
the mom.
money,
Dude, Riley went from
Yeah.
finding it to creating
yeah,
it.
dude. Oh my God, Riley's an artist right here with this story. Mom was kind of angry because she thinks it's too much, and I was honestly just scared because I've never had something so expensive. The mom's pissed, but my mom talked it out with my dad, and apparently that's all right. So on Christmas, they bought me the car, and it was really cool. I was so nervous to drive it, but I do like it. I left in Victoria because I don't want to drive it myself yet, and my mom got me a lot of presents, and I mean a lot. There was so much there, it felt overwhelming. After Christmas, we saw the new Disney movie, Strange World, because my mom and I both love those kind of movies, and in it, the main character is a teenager who has issues with his dad and grandpa, and he's also attracted to the same gender, but it's just who he is, and it's handled like a normal movie. But as soon as it became clear he was attracted to the same gender, my mom got really quiet and just kind of shut down. She just went to her room when the movie was done. She didn't even say goodnight to me. When I went to brush my teeth, I could hear her crying really badly to her wife, and I know I shouldn't spy, but I just had to. She was crying about how it's so normal now and how she wishes she could have come out as a teenager and lived her life the way she should have, and how she and her wife could have gotten married way before. I felt really bad, and then I heard her talk about how many years she wasted as a soccer mom, and I got mad as well and just went to my room. I was kind of prepared to argue about the movie the next morning, but my mom didn't even come out of her room. Her wife said she was feeling sick, and when I went to say good morning, she stopped me because she was like, my mom doesn't want me to see her like that. I heard my mom throwing up, and when I said good morning through the door, just checking her, she said it back, but then started crying again really loudly and had her wife take me away because she said she can't let me see her cry. I just stayed watching TV after that because I felt really bad because it was my idea to watch that movie. Her wife kept going back and forth and tried to get her something to eat. Apparently she ate some bread, but then she threw that up too. Then my step-grandparents came because they were worried, and they went driving with me to distract me. We went to Dairy Queen, even though it was really cold, and it did get my mind off things, and still step-grandpa answered a call from my mom's wife. Then he was telling her to take my mom to the hospital, but I heard her mention how my mom would rather pass away than go there, and how she didn't see her parents in the hospital and didn't even go to see me. So I think maybe the mom is feeling bad. Oh, maybe the mom is actually really afraid of hospitals. Has a phobia of hospitals because she said, "Yeah, I didn't go to see OP and I didn't go to see the parents."
That's what it sounds like to me too. She has some sort of hospital phobia.
When my step grandparents asked if that was true, I said it was about me, and I tried not to, but I did cry. It got me to stop, and I feel effing embarrassed that I cried in front of them, but we had a good day together. When my step grandparents dropped me off, my mom was on the couch and called me over. She then gave me such a big hug, but it was like she was holding in tears. She told me that she wasn't feeling good at all and asked if I wouldn't mind going back to my step grandparents the day after. Her wife said that maybe they should send me back to Vancouver and I could stay with my uncle, and my mom just got so angry I actually got really scared. They're just sending OP everywhere. She went on a rant about how she's not going to let me see him and how he's been trying to turn me against her, and he just hates her because she doesn't have AIDS trauma. That didn't make sense because my uncle doesn't have AIDS. And she said he needs to get over himself and remember that my dad is his brother, not his son, and to focus on his actual granddaughter. I feel like she's mad because the uncle is showing them up and being a good parental figure over her.
Exactly. She's like, oh, you're going to make me look bad because, you know, I know I'm being a crap mom, and here you are being a great uncle and actually caring for her.
Yeah, they feel threatened.
Yes, feel threatened, 1,000%.
Her wife tried to calm her down, but then she just yelled out that she wishes that my uncle would just effing pass away, and it was the worst decision of her life to pity my dad and to not just take me with her when she left. I really didn't know that she hated him that much. Like when I was younger, they were always so close, and dad would even joke sometimes about her stealing his brother. I honestly started crying really badly because he is my favorite uncle, but that just made my mom angrier. And she was like to her wife that it just proves that nobody understands and that my uncle is trying to steal me because I'm the best thing in her life. Maybe you should just be a better mom. Then she actually yelled at me to effing stop crying, that I cried more than I did when I was a baby. And she said the thing about me not getting a husband again. Her wife just took my mom to their room and they left me on the couch. I didn't know. I just couldn't stop crying and I just fell asleep there because I didn't feel like I could move. In the morning, I woke up and was still on the couch, but there was a blanket on me and my head was in my mom's lap. I really felt like crying again, but I held it in. Then my mom actually said sorry. See, she said she doesn't know what's been happening to her since we saw the movie, but it was no excuse to yell at me for crying. She was so sorry that she hurt me so badly, and she was starting to understand how horrible she's been to me over the entire winter break. How about the entire couple of years?
Yes. So let's do that. Let's not just acknowledge this little thing. And also, it just feels so disingenuous and just like, oh, apologize to just be able to go right back to it.
Exactly. It's like actually make a change.
Yes.
Also, I'm looking through some of the comments. She's only 35 turning 36. The mom is.
Oh, so she had OP like pretty young,
At 20.
Oh, wow.
She called her wife over and made her apologize to me too. After breakfast, we had a really big long talk about how she was feeling. She seemed really sorry and said she would never get mad at me for crying again. But what mattered to me, when she said she was sorry that she took out all her anger on my uncle and put it on me, she said it was wrong to do that and wrong to let me know how she feels because it would be wrong to make me stop loving him. Good. She said she knows I might not forgive her, but even if I do, she'll never forgive herself. She promised to try to change back to who I need her to be so we can get back to normal. She did offer to let me go to him, and I don't know why I didn't say yes, but I kind of felt like I still had to stay. I talked to her wife too, and she said she was really sorry for what happened because she'd never seen my mom that way before. She just wanted to calm things down. She told me she was wrong not to take my side, and apparently my mom was mad at her for not doing that. She felt really guilty, and she's the one that put the blanket on me. She stayed by me until 4 a.m. when my mom came and took over. She also said she'd do whatever it took to get my forgiveness and wished she'd never hurt me. She told me I've become such an important part of her life, and she's so grateful I love her parents. For the rest of the break, my mom didn't really talk that much. She did start eating, but it wasn't that much. My step-grandparents came over every day to check on me. Thank God the step-grandparents are there. Mom did seem to get a little bit better on New Year's, and every time I'd ask how she felt, though, she'd just say she's fine, and it's her job to worry about me, not the other way around. But you're not giving OP a lot of opportunities to not worry about you.
Yeah.
I did go home the day after New Year's because school was starting, but I had to go back on Friday. I just got back Sunday night because I had a meeting at UVic. Mom seemed really different when I saw her again. She seems smaller now, and she definitely looks skinnier. I know it's been only 2 weeks, but she seems skinnier, and she still seems sad, but like she was at least pretending to be happy. The meeting at UVic went really well, and it really does seem like an amazing place to go to school. Even though I don't know if I want to do engineering anymore, there's still a lot there. My mom did make me sign up to go check up UBC, SFU, Langara as well. She also said she's going with her wife to Ontario in February, and we could do a road trip together while her wife is working. We can check out other universities like Waterloo, McMaster, and U of T. She said she wanted me to know I can choose to go to them, but she's confident that I'll come to her, and I'm confident that you'll come to us for full episodes with stories just like this, but maybe a little less stressful. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update, but let's discuss.
It's been a journey.
I don't even know if we're turning a full leaf here.
I don't know. I mean, I think we have the uncle.
We have the step-grandparents.
I think it's honestly OP16. I think this is the beginning of a long journey to get to a place where she kind of realizes what the mom is doing and figures out the right balance of engaging with her, but then more importantly, getting the actual love, care, and attention from the people who do love her and care for her like they should. And I feel like OP is on the path, but I think it's going to take some time.
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And I really do think she just needs to distance herself from her mom. I mean,
100%.
Her mom's a mess.
Live with Gary. Live with Uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But aside from the meeting, she didn't leave home at all. I did get to hang out with my step-grandparents. When I was there, she cuddled me almost the entire day unless we were eating. Her wife told me she was working from home. I don't know what to make of any of it. like if this means I'm getting my mom back like she used to be, or if she's just going to keep changing, or if she's depressed now. I wasn't planning on posting, but I feel like I need people's opinions on what could be happening to her. And that is where that story ends.
Finito.
Woo! Woo, baby. So let us know what you think OP should do.
Please.
I feel like OP needs distance from the mom, stay
Yes.
with the step-grandparents, stay with the uncle, but I think get away from all these terrible adults that are giving you so much bad advice.
Yes.
Get therapy, get your mom to get therapy, get your dad to get therapy.
Yeah.
Everyone needs it, but
Yep.
I think the therapist is right. Like, see what your life is without your mom, because I feel like she's just giving her nothing but pain.
Agreed.
That is where that story ends. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.